All right, what up, everybody? It is Middays with Marks. What up? Good morning, everybody. Morning, everybody watching live on YouTube. Like and subscribe to 97.5 The Fanatic on YouTube. You can watch us live or on demand, whatever you prefer. Good morning to everybody listening on good old-fashioned 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN FM, the Fanatic app, which is excellent. I listen to a lot of our programming, both live and on demand on the Fanatic app. As we say good morning to Mr. Ray Dunn. What's up, Raymond?
Oh, not much, Johnny. Finally, we could talk about something different. Isn't it beautiful?
The offensive coordinator has been named, and we will break it down as we say good morning to Sean Brace.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody out there. Feels good, feels great to be back with you, of course, as Ray just pointed out. But you did say on the good old FM dial, and it felt like, hey, man, is that Freedom Rock?
Yeah, man.
We'll turn it up.
The ink is black. The paint is white. Don't you want somebody to love? Making friends for you to every day. I know the whole role of Freedom Rock.
Wow. Strong.
There's a 2-minute Freedom Rock if you go on YouTube. It's the extended commercial, I guess, that
extended cut.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, everything of the guys hanging out by the
van.
camp. Yeah, by the van. That's what it was.
At the campsite. Smoking old-fashioned joints. Separating the seeds and stuff. All right. Well, we do have a situation. As we were begging for the Eagles to hire an offensive coordinator, where they did, Sean Brace. Sean Mannion, who I believe they were going to hire just based on he was getting a second interview, and it just felt like that the Nagy and maybe some of the older guys. I know Jim Bob Cooter got a second interview, and some other guys got a second interview. But Sean Mannion is the new Eagles offensive coordinator, 33 years old, only 2 years of coaching experience. He comes off of the field with the Packers for 1 year as an offensive assistant. He's the quarterback's coach in 2025. He gets the job in 2026. So here's my reaction to it. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the hire. We now are going to see a modern NFL offense. We saw what Shane Steichen came in and wanted to do, and then he adjusted to his personnel. We saw what Kellen Moore came in. By all indications, Kellen Moore came in with his offense, and then he said, okay, I have to run a different offense based on my personnel. And then last season, the Eagles' offense, again, wasn't great. Overall, a pretty good team. They made the playoffs, but the Eagles realized that this isn't just about coming in and getting a play caller. This is about actually, we need an offense. We need an innovative offense. We need a modern NFL offense. And it does not surprise me that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman wanted to get somebody that was off of the Sean McVay coaching tree or the Sean McVay playing tree, as Sean Mannion has played for Sean McVay. So I really like to hire because the Eagles typically, when they make a hire from the outside, they've done really well with it. Kevin Patullo was an internal hire. He wasn't hired in the Eagles organization to be an offensive coordinator. He was a position coach that was elevated based on being on Nick Sirianni's staff. Brian Johnson was not brought in to be an offensive coordinator. He was brought in to be an offensive assistant who was promoted because he was the next guy in line. The Eagles realized they needed an outsider. They needed an outsider's eye. They needed an outsider's voice to come in and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Because make no mistake about this, this hire is about Jalen Hurts as much as it's about anything else. Jalen Hurts is going to need to be able to learn this new offense, to run this new offense, and to evolve into an NFL passer. And if he can't run this offense and he can't evolve as a quarterback to run this offense or to run the type of offense the Eagles want to run, they're probably going to move on from him, Super Bowl MVP or not. They need Jalen Hurts to evolve into the player and to develop into the player that they really need him to be. And Sean Mannion, even though he's 33 years old, even though there's risk that comes with having a guy that does not have experience calling plays or really have a lot of experience at the NFL level at all as being a coach, but he comes in and that here for the people that are going to say, well, he's not experienced and this is a huge leap of faith. And sometimes you just, when you're interviewing somebody, you say, this guy's really smart. This guy's got it. This guy will figure it out. And maybe there's some growing pains. Maybe there's more growing pains than we want. But I believe that you hire the right guy, you're hiring the right guy. And Sean Mannion, and Sean, I have no idea. I have no idea. Bobby Slowick or Sean Mannion or any of these other guys, I have no idea. We weren't on the interviews. I don't know. But I can tell you that Sean Mannion, if he impressed the Eagles enough to get hired with this little experience, that is enough for me. and I'm excited.
All right. Well, you did bring up Sean McVay there. This guy checks all the boxes when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of youngins with the headsets. You got LaFleur, Sean McVay, and Kevin O'Connell. I don't think you get anybody bigger than that. But let me just start with this, John. Now that the ink is dry, it's just hitting me a little bit differently than what we were talking about throughout the course of the week. And we talked about this OC position ad nauseum, as everybody has, whether you're on the radio, podcasting, or just with your friends or coworkers. This has been the topic of the week. I have to be honest about what's hitting me right now, and I can only work off of facts. Like, that's all I want to do is go off of facts right here, right now. The Eagles and Nick Sirianni decided to go with a young first-time play caller this previous season, and it crashed and burned. Kevin Petula was way in over his head. 18 games played, it was a mistake. I think we could all agree, looking back at the season that was, the season was lost. Of course, there were many reasons, but none bigger than Kevin Petula. Now, I'm confused because if you have that to go off of, and again, that's a fact. Now, if you're Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, and I'm putting Nick Sirianni to the side, this is a Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman hire. Point blank, end of story. You want to argue with me on that? That's fine. Love to hear your case.
No.
For the people, not you, but people out there, that's fine. This is a Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman hire. I'll go into why I believe that I can go out there and really pump my chest on why I believe that. But facts. Here they are again, going with a young first-time play caller to take over this offense. 2 years coaching, John. 2 years. Not as an offensive coordinator like Kellen Moore, who had multiple stops with the Chargers and the Dallas Cowboys. No, this guy was a quarterback coach. And I'm with you on Malik Willis and Jordan Love, who I like as well. Maybe not as much as Ray Dunn, but pretty good quarterbacks. Understood. Again, facts. This position of offensive coordinator, we know what it comes with. This offensive coordinator position had more eyeballs on it this offseason to hire somebody than the Cardinals head coaching position, than the Browns multiple head coaching spots. John, you are hiring somebody that is learning on the job. Whether this guy is the next boy genius, whether he is John Madden Jr., I don't care. Here's the facts. He is learning to run this offense, to call plays on the job. I don't view this right now as a good thing. We could all sit here and say the same thing. Hey, come September, I'll talk to you in week 3. I'll let you know how I'm feeling. No, at this point in time, now that the ink is dry, I'm looking at this going, man, you better be right. Nick Sirianni, for your sake, you better hope that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman hit a home run here, because I don't think that this looks good for him. If things go awry, he's the one, his seat is the hottest right now. Who are they bouncing things off of when eventually issues happen?
Well, we do have some breaking news on that front, and,
really?
and it is an interesting question. The Eagles have hired, according to Adam Schefter, former Buccaneers offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard as their pass game coordinator.
Get out of here.
So he was the see, you had a question, we gave you the answer.
That was perfect. Not scripted, obviously. I didn't have Schefter on my cell phone, so
Grizzard was the offensive coordinator the last 2 seasons with Tampa Bay. He called plays. And he was actually twice he was interviewed for the offensive coordinator job. He received the second interview too.
Whoa.
So I guess at that second interview they said, hey, we're going with Mannion. However, you're kind of now the number 2 guy as far as being the offensive coordinator. So you have a guy that has experience doing it. You have a guy in case, God forbid, it didn't work out with Mannion that could take over the job responsibilities. And you have another young coach. He's only 35 years old. You have another young coach that looks at this job and says, you know what? I could get a head coaching job off of this. I could get an offensive coordinator job off of this. If Mannion was to get a head coaching job off of this, I slide in to be the offensive coordinator where I'm calling plays. This is an excellent hire by the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because now you're adding another young, bright mind into the building that has experience calling plays.
There you go. Well, again, I think that my concerns were valid as we sit here right now. Like, that was the big thing for me last night.
1 year as offensive coordinator. He was the pass game coordinator in 2024, and in last year he was the offensive coordinator.
But understood what it takes, the ebbs and flows of calling a game. Of course, taking over for that Tampa Bay Bucs offense that was really good under Liam Cohen the previous season. Took a step back this last season. However, a lot of injuries came into play. Really disappointing season for the Bucs, no doubt. But we understand this is a great move. And now I could breathe a little bit easier. Like, this is valid. As I was sitting here this morning and I'm going through some things and I'm just like, all right, I want to believe in Sean Mannion as what the play-by-play Wayne, from the Green Bay Packers joined us yesterday, and he said, man, he's a head coach in waiting. I want to believe that. But guess what? If it goes south next year,
you still got to do it. Brian Johnson was also looked at in that type of a way when he got elevated the offensive coordinator, and then he struggled, and he hasn't gotten back up to that level yet. We see it all the time. Guys come up and it's like, oh, bright young mind.
Yeah.
But so I'm taken back to the Eagles back when they hired John Gruden to be their offensive coordinator.
He was 31, right?
Ray Rhodes, early 30s, up 31. Ray Rhodes came over from the Niners. So when Jeffrey Lurie bought the team, he envisioned, all right, the West Coast offense, what the Niners are doing, that's what I want to do. Like, that's what I'm going to model my franchise after. I want to run the West Coast offense. I want to get someone off of the Bill Walsh coaching tree. Ray Rhodes was a defensive coach, but he was also out of the 49ers. So he comes in, he's their head coach. They hired John Gruden, who had no play calling experience. He was a wide receivers coach for 2 years in Green Bay, and they hired him at 31 years old, and he came in and he was excellent at calling plays. He was like, no one worried about the lack of experience then. And, we're going back, that was 1995. I mean, geez, we're going back 30 years. But still, like, John Gruden at that time was like a wonderkind. He was like this young hotshot.
Yeah.
He gets a job at the Raiders based on a couple years with the Eagles. So could that be Mannion? I honestly, like, we can talk about benefit of the doubt. Do the Eagles deserve the benefit of the doubt? Does Howie deserve the benefit of the doubt? Jeffrey Lurie, like, forget about all that. They just have to make the right hire. And we're not going to know if Sean Mannion's a good play caller until Sean Mannion's calling plays, right? Because he hasn't done it. But I think you have to look at why did he get the job and how did he get the job. He clearly, in the first interview that he came in, I don't know if the Eagles thought that they were getting their next coordinator when they interviewed him, or they interviewed him and said, wow, this guy's really impressive. And, I mean, we all talked about it. We've had the conversations about the season ends, and it's like, oh, well, you can't hire a guy that doesn't have experience. You need to bring a guy in here that has experience. The last thing you can do is do what you did last year with Kevin Patullo. The difference is with Kevin Patullo, and I had said this when they hired him, he was a 47-year-old, 45, 46, 47-year-old guy that had never sniffed being an offensive coordinator, right? He got the job based on longevity, coaching with Nick Sirianni, being on a staff, seeing a bunch of guys get promoted in front of him, and then he took the next step up, and then he took the next step up, and then it was his job for the taking. But he was never considered for an offensive coordinator job outside the organization.
It was his boy.
Exactly. He was here. He was the next guy in line. He got the job. So that's why he got the job. This guy right here isn't the Eagles offensive coordinator because he had spent a long time in the NFL and he worked his way up, and now it was his time. No, he impressed enough to where the Eagles said, we're going out on a limb and we're giving this guy a shot. And of all the things I trust Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie with are things like this. Are things like, you know what do we need? What does this offense need? This offense needs to evolve. We can't run the Jalen Hurts offense anymore. They've been running the Jalen Hurts offense. Shane Steichen ran the Jalen Hurts offense. Brian Johnson was running the Jalen Hurts offense. Kellen Moore came in, was running the Jalen Hurts offense. Nick Sirianni was running the Jalen Hurts offense. It's time to run an actual NFL offense.
Jalen Hurts isn't going anywhere, though, right?
He's not. He's going to have to evolve. I mean, he may not be going anywhere right now, but I think this hire is as much about Jalen Hurts as about anything else. We're done running that offense. We're done running the college offense we've been running the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's time to run an NFL offense.
He has to improve. There's no doubt about it, because it comes back to whether we want to believe what's being put out there or not. The fact is that he is no longer able to make those plays with the ease that he was able to do it in previous years. And he's just a half a step slower, and that is the big change in my eyes from Jalen Hurts being able to drop back. It's not there. Let me go make some plays. He was dynamic. He was incredible. He was awesome the previous couple seasons. This past year, the offense took a step back. You look at the numbers; it's glaring across the board. I hope, and I believe, I want to believe in Mannion right now, like I do, but I can only go off of like, wait a minute, hang on. If we're being honest about what took place with Kevin Patullo last year, and he had zero experience play calling, and that was the biggest issue throughout the course of the season, and now we're going to hand the keys, not my words, Nick Foles' words, to this Lamborghini, to a first-time driver he referenced. John, you got kids.
I do.
When your first child turns 16, are you going to get him a brand new car? You're going to get him a brand new whip?
Absolutely. Just say, go ahead. You're gone. Yeah. Spare no expense.
Again, remember what I drove? A Plymouth Horizon. $500. I bought it off my offensive line coach. Shout out Coach King. It was a great value.
My car was $500 too. My dad bought it for my 16th birthday.
Because that's how you're supposed to learn.
Right.
Not with a Lamborghini.
Yeah, but Kevin Patullo is a Mazda GLC or is a Dodge Omni. I mean, seriously.
Well, what's Mannion then? You better be a Lexus.
Well, I mean, we don't know what Mannion is yet.
BMW?
Could be.
Mercedes?
Could be a nice upper, like, Ray, what was your first car?
The same one I'm driving right now. 2002 Toyota Avalon.
I like that. That's good. Now, Ray is also 17 years old, so that's understood.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Like, Patullo was, I think it was pretty clear to everybody that Patullo was going to be, all right, let's just try to figure this out. Let's do the best we can. And then it was clear that they weren't going to be able to do it. But even when it was clear, you've had the whole year, you're trying to figure this out. That's not what this hire is. This hire is totally different offense, totally different everything. Motion, like the Eagles look at the NFL. Jeffrey Lurie looks at the NFL. Remember when was it that Jeffrey Lurie was mad they were running the ball too much? Was that the Super Bowl year?
I think it was the year after. They went and won in Green Bay on like a Thursday night.
Whenever it would, like, Jeffrey Lurie was annoyed that they weren't throwing the ball more. Whatever year that was, he wanted more passing. When they ran the ball to win the Super Bowl, that was their best option. It doesn't mean that they don't still say, hey, we need to pass the ball to win. So don't think for a second that Jeffrey Lurie and Harry Roseman don't realize the NFL is about passing. It's not about this offense that we've been running.
Sure.
They want to get in the business of this offense. So they look at the Sean McVays and the Kevin O'Connells and those guys, and they want to find that next guy.
Yeah.
And they want to find the next guy and start that line of guys. Maybe that starts with Mannion. Maybe Mannion is here and he's gone after a year. Maybe Mannion's here and, who knows what happens after
It'd be
that.
a great problem to have. I would love to be doing this search again next year at this time.
Modern NFL offense. That's what the Eagles are going to have now. And Jalen Hurts is going to have to execute it. And let me say this for everybody that says, well, you're being really hard on this is as much about Jalen developing. Because Jalen has shown he can develop, but you need the coaching to do it. Sam Darnold goes to the Jets. He looks like he can't play in the NFL. Sam Darnold goes to a couple of good teams that knows how to coach.
Hello.
He's in the Super Bowl right now. And they didn't win in spite of Sam Darnold.
No.
Sam Darnold's a big reason why the Seahawks are there.
He's slinging it.
He developed.
Yep.
It's time for Jalen to develop more, but you can't do that with Patullo, who's struggling just to spit a play call out, for crying out loud. You can barely get up to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball because he can't figure out what he's doing. Everything has changed. So the Eagles' offense has changed, and for people that can't adapt and adjust and do that, they're probably not going to be here because this is a call from above. Hey, this is what we're doing. The stuff that we did before, we had success, it worked. It's not sustainable. You can't sustain to win Super Bowls by running the ball every year. It needs to be because of high-end quarterback play, throwing the ball. So I think that's what the Eagles are trying to accomplish.
To follow up what you're saying as far as with Jalen Hurts, too, this offense is going to look drastically different. And it starts with Jalen, no doubt, but he's still going to be in the Eagles uniform. If A.J. Brown is not in the Eagles uniform to start this season, just think about without him on the field. Think about all these top receivers that represent some of these squads, and if you were to remove them from the equation, that's what the Eagles are going to be next year. Think about what A.J. Brown does when he catches the ball, A, but B, when the ball isn't coming his way, and he's commanding those double teams and all those eyeballs on the defensive side of the ball. It is going to be drastically different next year. I kind of welcome that, but at the same time, if this team...
You got to replace him if he's not here. You just can't come back with re-sign Dotson and put...
Where that type of caliber receiver is hard to replace.
It is. But you can also, like, Devontae, I believe, has been underused. he's been underutilized because you have AJ. Now you're getting more touches towards Devontae. Then you're bringing in maybe a real slot receiver like a Wendell Robinson.
I would love that.
And that now you're drafting maybe more of an outside guy that can get some spots. Now Dallas Goedert, if he's back, he can get some more looks. You're going to have to redistribute it differently.
I think it changes. This defense or this offense is going to look really different.
All right, we'll get your reaction. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. What does Ray think about it? That's coming up. How do you feel about the hire of Sean Mannion? Text line, phone line, 610-632-0975. How does Nick Foles feel about it? The big podcast star has his thoughts on it. We'll play that for you coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Found their man. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles hired Packers quarterback coach Sean Mannion as offensive coordinator yesterday afternoon. The 33-year-old has 2 years of coaching experience, was the quarterback's coach for the Green Bay Packers in that time. He spent 9 seasons as a backup quarterback in the NFL. Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Packers, joined us yesterday to talk about what exactly he sees in Mannion.
He's just a very solid, good football man. Is he ready to call plays right now? I don't know, because he hasn't done it on this level. But his experience as a player in many different systems would lead me to believe he'd be very good.
And he's not the only new hire. They also have hired Josh Grizzard, the former offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers, to join the staff as the pass game coordinator. We'll talk about all of it to Tim McManus coming up at 1 o'clock. The Sixers won in the final seconds last night. Tyrese Maxey with the game winner, knocked off the Kings 113-111. Maxey at 40 and Embiid at 37 will be giving away tickets to the game tomorrow night at 12:30. Flyers lost 6-3 to the Bruins last night. This update's brought to you by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Football and King's irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, the best birds talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
No disrespect to Sean. This is just what it came to me was it's like giving your 16-year-old who just started driving a brand new Lamborghini. You know, that's what the Eagles offensive, you know, they got like a Lamborghini of players, and now, you know, this is his first time driving. He's got the keys. Now, maybe he's a child prodigy that's been doing race cars in the backyard and doing donuts, and you have no idea, and he can drive drive that thing like a madman.
That's Nick Foles, podcast star.
So good.
But here's the bigger problem. They gave Patullo a Lamborghini last year. And what did he do with it? He didn't even take it out. He didn't know what to do with it.
Oh, he took it out.
Where?
I don't know if he ever got it out of first gear. He was just redlining that thing all over.
The Eagles offense is not a Lamborghini. I'm sorry.
Last year, again, the year that just wrapped up.
We thought, like,
Oof, yeah.
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley are Lamborghini, right?
Yes.
Okay. Saquon, a little bit of a different player last year due to the workload. Their offensive line was busted up. I mean, I don't know. This is still a good enough offense. It's still a good offense. I don't view this offense the same way we looked at it after they won the Super Bowl.
I love the car talk. So essentially, last year's Eagles offense was a Lambo on the outside, right? But it was probably like a replaced engine. It was an engine that went south and, you know, maybe was stuck in a flood down there in Mississippi at one time, whatever. So they had to replace the
Check
engine.
the Carfax to see what's going on.
Exactly. You know, the offensive line was bad, right?
No, it looked like Ray's Avalon on the inside. On the outside, it was a Lamborghini.
Oh,
Do you have ashes all over the inside of your Avalon?
I don't smoke in that car,
Okay,
right?
nice.
It's always outside.
That's
Always
good.
has to be outside.
That's good for resale
Actually,
value.
can we? I think we can do this soon. Let's do an in-depth, like Cribs. We used to have Cribs on MTV. Let's do that with Ray's Avalon.
Get the black light out.
Yeah, we just get a video out there,
Whoa.
get Dylan out there.
Oh, sorry, I went a little too deep there.
We can take a look at Ray's car. A lot of listeners, I'm sure, want to know about Ray's car. All right, Ray, we haven't heard from you on this. I know that you're relieved at least that they made a hire here. And by the way, the Josh Grizzard thing really makes a ton of sense as far as a lot of people's problems with the hire of Mannion. But what do you think about everything?
Yeah, adding that in the last half hour here, it's kind of like the scene from Moneyball. You guys are all trying to bring back Giambi. He's not coming back. You might all still be thinking you were getting a Dayball or Mike McDaniel, but you're trying to create them in the aggregate here. We're going to go try and get those brand new ideas for an offense, and we're going to bring in a guy that has play calling experience. Grizzard was the last 2 seasons with the Buccaneers. You go back, he was with the Dolphins, so you got some of that Mike McDaniel feel of maybe, hey, whatever you learned there. And while it didn't work for him in Tampa Bay, it worked out for a number of guys there. You look at Liam Cohen, you look at Dave Canales, what they were able to do when they moved on, and they obviously had found success. So he has some of that ideology there that he can kind of marry with his play calling to Mannion, who is boy wonder. I can't say I'm sitting here thinking everything's fixed, everything's fine, let's plan a parade a year from now, but it's something new. It's a swing on upside. I really wasn't excited by the idea of a retread of a guy that we've seen call plays that's available for a reason at this point. Go for the upside swing.
I would think that people would have been disappointed with Nagy. There's upside with this. You're right. So ultimately, here's the question. Are you happy with the hire? Yes or no? Ray, yes or no?
Yes.
Sean, are you happy with the hire?
I can't say no, so I have to say yes.
You can't say no, but you have to say yes.
Yeah.
But you're more in between then, because I'm an absolute yes. I'm excited about this hire.
guess, again, I'm dealing off of facts, so I'm going off of what took place last year, and now all of a sudden you're handing the keys, over to this guy who has 2 years coaching experience, obviously played a ton. I get it, but he's taking over and learning on the job. And that, to me, I feel like this offense is going to struggle at times next year. There's going to be hiccups. So who is he going to go to if they did have issues? Nick Sirianni? Is he the guy that's going to have the answers? Now they bring in the
dumbest coach in the world,
Josh Grizzard, which I like. So I am a yes on both of these hires, but I was a little skeptical of Sean Mannion. Real quick on this, because I'm looking at Grizzard and how to pronounce his name. He's from Lizard Lick, North Carolina. Am I missing something here? Grizzard from Lizard Lick. Is that real?
We need Nate to get a press conference on this guy. I need to hear what he sounds like. Nate Tedison, our associate producer, find him sounding really hicky.
I lived in North Carolina. I have no idea where the hell Lizard Lick, North Carolina is.
Something tells me it's not near Raleigh or
Probably not, yeah.
or what's the other city down there?
I bet you
Charlotte?
it's deep in the cut. Yeah, up in the mountains probably.
Hold on a second. Lizard.
No, actually, John.
Wake County.
It's Wake County.
I don't know what that
is
means.
by Raleigh.
Yeah, it's
Really?
right outside of Raleigh.
That is,
I've probably driven right past it before.
dude. I lived right there. I lived in Clayton.
The first thing
Really?
that comes up when you put in Lizard Lick is Lizard Lick Towing.
I've never heard of Lizard Lick, North Carolina.
Lizard Lick Towing is a reality show for 8 seasons.
Was he on that? His Uncle Bob was the main star.
Interesting.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I am. So to answer my own question, and this is a question for the text line, 610-632-0975. For the phone line, 610-632-0975. I am very happy with the hire. Very happy with the hire. So here's what the Eagles did. Season ends, they get rid of Petula or they demote Petula. He's still, is he staying with the staff, I guess? He's staying on.
Well, pass game coordinator was his job before. Offensive coordinator was his latest job.
Senior-
Both those were filled.
He'll be senior offensive assistant or something like that, which I'm great with.
Chief vibes officer.
I'm fine with him staying. I have no issue with that.
To the basement.
But they went, so they looked at the top guys. McDaniel would have changed everything, would have changed the offense, would have been a full renovation of the offense. And Brian Daboll comes in with his own offense. So you weren't just bringing in a play caller. You were bringing in a new offense. You were looking at the top guys on the market. When they weren't available, when Joe Brady went back to the Bills to be the head coach, now what do? Now are you going with old, reliable Matt Nagy, who's experienced? Are you going with other guys that maybe had some experience? Or are you taking a shot with a younger guy that impressed you? They said we're taking a shot with the younger guy that impressed us, Sean Mannion. And to me, once they brought him in for a second hire, immediately the antennas went up and I said, they like this guy. 33 years old, little coaching experience. Something caught their ear and caught their eye when they talked to him, and they brought him back. So that's exciting to me. We could have an actual offense, an actual passing offense with motion and creativity and scheme. Jalen's got to be able to do it too.
Yeah, he does. I'll tell you, the big thing for me that excited me a lot from yesterday was the fact that, and again, once he got hired, more than that, was the fact that he dealt with Malik Willis, a guy that struggled, that was drafted, came in with expectations, and of course needed a new spot, and he succeeded in Green Bay to the point that he's a free agent, and some people like Dan Orlovsky are going way off the deep end of what he's going to fetch as far as contracts, but he's a quarterback we shall see. No doubt about it, Malik Willis played much better this year with the Green Bay Packers. He had a huge part of that. And Jordan Love, I think, is talented beyond belief like Ray does, but clearly had his best season too as well. So there's something to be said about Sean Mannion. Is he the QB whisperer? Maybe. We shall find out.
All right, couple things here on the text line. John Kincade says there's great golf in Lizard Lick.
Come on.
I mean, John would know.
He knows golf, but get at it. First of all, there's great golf all over North Carolina. No doubt about that, John.
Oh, there is.
But Lizard Lick in Wake County is hysterical. I got to dial up my boy Moody.
Also, Uncle Jamie, who is a Toyota general manager at a Toyota dealership, wants to do an analysis of your car.
Ooh. I'm telling you, there's not a lot of value left in that bad boy, Uncle Jamie.
Toyotas hold their value, man.
Oh, it can still drive.
Yeah.
You get from point A to point B. Other than that, not much you're gonna like about it.
All right, we're doing it. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it over, and we're gonna get an analysis of it. Is your car dirty?
Yeah.
Inside dirty?
Yeah, for sure.
Like cereal bowl,
No.
old cups.
Yeah, the old cups for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's not a well kept car. I don't have any passengers in that bed.
Right. So what's the point?
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we got coming up here. Todd McCulloch.
Yes.
Is going to be coming in studio. It could be in 5 minutes. It could be in 20 minutes. But between now and sometime like 11:15. So we're going to have a nice long segment where Todd can sit down and we can talk. Because he has real opinions on the Eagles offensive coordinator search too. All right. I'm sure Todd has a big opinion on Sean Mannion. But the 2001 76ers are being celebrated 25 years.
How about that?
Being celebrated on Saturday. We have tickets to that, which we'll give away a little bit later on in the show. But Todd McCulloch talking about AI, pinball, and everything else.
And back-to-back NBA Finals trips when he had to face off against Shaquille O'Neal. That sounds fun.
You write that one down for him. What was it like facing Shaq?
Not once, but 2 times.
Yeah,
in the NBA Finals.
like, hey, you made the finals. Oh, you got to go up against Shaq again.
Shaq had to say something to him in every one of those games. Like, come on, dude.
Do you imagine having to face Shaq?
Todd had good touch. I was watching some replays this morning.
He would have been very good modern NBA player because he could shoot. He would shoot from the outside. He wasn't shooting threes all that much, I don't think. But he was shooting from the top of the key.
Good touch, and his hair never went anywhere, John. His hair just stayed. I don't know if he wore product or whatnot, but his hair never moved in any of those highlights.
If he doesn't have a hat on, we'll have to analyze. Because I'm the hair guy with Morgenstern Medical.
That's right.
All right, that's coming up. So he's coming up. More Eagles stuff coming up on the other side as well. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Fanatic.
celebrated 25 years tomorrow night down at the X. He'll join us coming up in a second. We made Sean switch seats because the seat that Sean's in now, I think if you put Todd McCulloch in that seat, it may be a little smaller.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, that you found the camera?
Sounds good. Yeah, I always find the camera. You know that.
Is that the camera you look at?
It's got to be.
That should be the camera he's looking at.
All right.
I do feel a little erect over here. This microphone is straight up as well.
You're erect over there? Is that what you said? You okay? Yeah.
I did not put that one together. Yes, I do feel a little north right now.
Right. Okay. Calm down.
Good back.
We don't want you to.
No.
We don't want you to be erect when Todd McCulloch comes in. So he's going to join us coming up in a second. We'll talk about Eagles until then. Reuben Frank reacted on the Eagle Eye podcast. He had something very interesting to say about Mannion and Jalen Hurts. Listen.
I mean, he's got to prove he's got the football chops to be able to help Jalen Hurts. And I think very early in that meeting, he's going to have to illustrate how he's going to help Jalen Hurts become a more consistent, more productive player. And I think Jalen is the kind of guy that if he likes what he hears and he can relate to it, he'll buy in. But that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, Jalen's been in the league a long time. He's been a Super Bowl MVP. And if a guy comes in who's just a couple of years older than him, really, can't sit at a chalkboard or the whiteboard and illustrate, look, this is what we're going to do. Yeah, then it's not going to be a good start. He's got to show Jalen right from the start, I can help you become a better player.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, but I think that's more on Jalen than it's on Mannion. It's more on Jalen to realize this is what's going on now. We brought in this outside influence, this outside offense, because we need to help you develop more, and this is the type of offense we want to run. So this isn't pick a superstar name, LeBron, where you're hoping the coach comes in and the coach he gains LeBron's respect or whatever superstar player respect, because you need that them to see eye to eye. You need the respect. You need him to listen. That's not Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts needs to realize where he is at this point in his career, right? Like, you can be a Super Bowl MVP all you want. Are you a bad year away from the Eagles maybe looking to find a new quarterback?
I think a lot of quarterbacks, no matter who they are, yes, you're one season away from being shown the door, contract or not. And I'm a Jalen guy. It's in my bio, but I have to be realistic about it. Yeah, of course. Just they didn't meet the mark, and the expectations were what they were. Jalen would tell you that they didn't live up to it, and he's got to play better. But then when you really examine the numbers, finished 19th in points, 24th in yards, like the worst of Nick Sirianni's tenure.
3 and outs was historic rate.
It was
third
absurd.
down
To the standard.
Yeah.
Third down conversion's bad.
So Hurts has to not only evolve. Bottom line, Hurts has to play better. That's it. We could talk about evolving. You are the quarterback. It is all on your shoulders. You have to make the throws. You have to make the plays. And if it comes a time that you need to do more when it comes to not play calling, but essentially putting your thoughts and influence into what's being called, I need a little bit more from that. I was happy when Nick Foles came out because I thought I was losing my mind by saying, shouldn't the quarterback have input on some of the most biggest spots when it comes to at the end of games that you want your quarterback to be comfortable? Step up and say, hey, this is a play that I think will work. And it didn't feel like that was happening at all last year with Patullo and Jalen and Nick Sirianni.
Right.
Hopefully Mannion, with the background that he has, backup quarterback, dealing with LaFleur, dealing with, of course, out there in O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell.
These are the things that are going to be beneficial.
I mean, you look at the guys that he played for. You could also play for all these guys and not have a clue what you're doing, right? But it certainly seems like that this guy does.
That's why you have interview process.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
You go on a fact-finding mission, John Marks.
All right, Matt Cord says that they're on their way down because Matt Cord's bringing Todd McCulloch down. So let's go with our original plan of just sweeping the top of the hour, Ray, and we'll take a phone call here.
Love the sweep.
Todd gets here. Let's go to Greg. Greg is with reaction. Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, what do you think of the hire, man? Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. I thought that last year the Eagles won the number of games they won despite Kevin Patullo rather than because of Kevin Patullo. And I think any outside influence is going to be beneficial. It was too incestuous before, and that came back to bite us. Anytime a defense knows what you're going to run, you're not going to be successful. You can't say that, well, the offense didn't execute. Well, it's pretty hard to execute if the defense knows what you're going to run.
Yep.
So I think if this guy has more creativity, it's got to be an improvement. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But
Greg, it's a great point. They really can't do worse than Kevin Patullo. Can they? Could it be worse than what it looked like last year? I mean, I guess technically it could be worse, but it could be much worse.
No. Yeah, I don't think it could get worse than Kevin Patullo. The hitches, which was like, wait a minute, what are we doing right now? The 3 and outs, we're talking about historical here. It can't be worse than Kevin Patullo. No way.
Let's go to Mad Mike. Mad Mike,
it'd actually be a good challenge. I would be impressed if they could be worse this year.
Mad Mike, go ahead. Good morning.
Hey, they will be worse this year. This guy has no experience whatsoever, which means Nick Sirianni is your offensive coordinator in disguise. And then you bring up this other no-experience pass coordinator, Grizzard. You can't wait till somebody calls him Griswold next year. That's definitely happening with these mouth breathers of a fan base.
Who did you want on the hire, Mad Mike? Who would you have hired?
I would have maybe not given Howie Roseman all the power. Maybe we could have had a normal NFL structure where the coaches feel like they have a little bit of say, and then maybe we could have gotten like a Matt Nagy or a McDaniels or Daboll to come in here instead of being like, nah, I'd rather go anywhere else, maybe the CFL instead of coming here.
All right, so there he is. There he is. Mad Mike, unhappy with the
hell yeah.
No surprise there.
Yeah, look, again, I think there are a lot of people out there that could find flaws with whatever they want, right? And you look at this, and I was even saying that there was somewhat of an issue as far as, bringing in a guy that had zero experience when it comes to play calling. And, that's a flaw. That's a huge flaw. And it's not to say that I didn't like the hire, but I was wondering, okay, when you have issues, who are you going to go to? Now they go out there and hire Josh Grizzard, so that's a huge get. And as far as I'm concerned, now you get 2 of those minds in there with Sirianni. You got one guy that has experience as far as play calling is concerned last year with Tampa Bay. Mannion's been around the block, so there were flaws, but you have to look at the pluses if you're honest, and I know Mad Mike is not that. As we are doing the NASCAR right now. I got the tire. Changing the tire, front tire over here.
As we were joined in studio, and Sean, you're right.
Let's go.
He's still got unbelievable hair. We were talking about this before. We were watching some highlights, and it's like, wow, Todd McCulloch's hair does not move. It is perfectly coiffed. Look at it right now as Todd McCulloch joins.
I don't really get a lot of hair compliments, so I feel like I'm being punked a little bit. But thanks for saying that. I just try and keep it short. It's gotten a little grayer. I did have a lot of gray in the beard, so I got rid of the beard, trying to look a little baby face.
Now, do you keep it clean and short for pinball? You don't want to get it in the eyes when you're battling.
That's right. I don't want to be flipping it like that. I need to keep it under control. I need to be aerodynamic, streamlined. Yeah.
Matt Cord also joins us in studio. Matthew, hello. Good morning.
Good to see you, John. Good to see you, Sean.
How exciting is this for you? I go back where I was like in mid-20s. We hadn't seen a winner in this town. I guess the '93 Phillies. Before that, the '83 Sixers, but a lot of losing seasons. You guys come along in 2001, and right away it was like we knew AI, we knew Allen was a star, but right away I was like, wow, there's something special here.
Like there's something special there. McCulloch's here now. We knew Iverson was a star. We just needed Batman and Robin, so I just stepped into that role. I didn't know. I grew up in Winnipeg, and I was in school in Seattle, and I hadn't been east at all. So I think I knew that Philadelphia was in Pennsylvania, and I collected the Flyers hockey cards when I was a kid. But I didn't know anything about the city. But the buzz I heard was this is a team on the rise. This team is getting better. They're going to the playoffs, and I was excited to get a team that had an upward trajectory. And you don't get to decide where you go. And I was so lucky to be drafted by this organization, and it was so much fun to play with Iverson and those guys because there was so much joy, and Iverson he just loves to play this game, and to be able to ride his coattails all the way to the finals is something that I'm so proud of. Every day of my life, I'm so proud to have been a part of this organization, at that time, and do the things that we did as a team.
The 76ers drafted Tom McCulloch, second-round choice, 47th overall pick out of Washington. Great to have you. I was going back and looking at some of my favorite team of all time growing up. Yeah, what? Really? Even more than the Nets?
That was fun too.
Okay,
that was fun too.
You had great success with both teams.
Yeah, I was here for 8 years between playing here for 3 and doing radio for 5 with Tom. I feel really connected, and I had one great year with the Nets, and I love those people.
So when I was looking at some of the highlights, number one, your hair never moved when you played. So I was
because I wasn't running very fast.
Okay, that's a good call.
I look tired in every shot I see because I was.
I was telling John, I was like, he had great touch. And forgive me that it wasn't jumping off the page back in those days when we were watching. Heck, I was 18, 19 back in those days. But watching it now because of the modern game, do you think if you were coming out now that you would have a little bit more of a successful career? Because I think that's something with big men
shooting
threes. I think it's clear.
It's a really good question. I think in some ways I would have done fine in today's games. In other ways, I think I would have struggled. I think I might have been. I might practice a little bit differently. If I was ever shooting threes in practice, my coach would say, "What are you doing? You're wasting time."
Yeah.
I had my coach in college at the my last collegiate game before the NCAA tournament. We were winning by 30, and the assistant coach said, "Hey, if you get a look, go ahead and jack a 3." I'm like, "Really? Did Coach Bender say it's okay?" He goes, "No, he didn't, and I will deny it if you say it, but take one." I'm like, "No, I can't." He's like, "No, do it, but don't tell him I said you could." So I was definitely not encouraged to do it. And then, now there's a lot of two-man game, and I definitely, I might have had trouble going over screens and fighting through that stuff, and so I think my athleticism would have been challenged, but I think I could have developed. I used to play pig with Aaron McKee sometimes pregame, and I would beat him every now and then, and so I take a lot of pride in a couple of pig wins.
Did you ever hit? I don't remember any threes.
I never hit any threes.
Did you ever attempt one?
My dad is very proud of my career and proud of me, but he always wanted me to hit a 3. He thought that would have been super cool, and so I took one in international basketball with Team Canada when the shot clock was expiring, and I missed it. I took one in high school. I made it, but my toe was on the line. I took none with the Sixers, and I think I took none with the Nets, and so. Wow. So when we started showing up in video games, one of my high school teammates and I, we played on my Sega Saturn. It was Sixers versus Sixers, and you have to shoot a 3 with Todd McCulloch. It took till the third quarter, and I was 1 for 47, and he beat me because I'm like, I am better than 1 for 47. Just because I don't take them doesn't mean I can't make them.
Can we just go real quick, nerd out, just as far as X's and O's and the way that they fire three-pointers in this day and age? Are you a fan of that?
Not so much. I mean, I get it. It's all money ball and it's all numbers and analytics, so it makes perfect sense if you can, you figure out the percentage of the threes and how much you get out of it. I think I like the athleticism, and my brother-in-law likes to say, like, I can sit out there and jack threes. I want to see what these guys can do attacking the rim and getting alley-oops and those kind of things. So, the game's definitely changed, and sometimes when I watch the highlights, I think, how did I ever do that? How did I ever keep up? And I realized most of the time I didn't. I just get a rebound and just give it to Iverson and then just wait back and let him go do it. So I didn't necessarily have to keep up. Although there was one situation where we were a 2-0 break, and Iverson was fighting to be the leading scorer in the NBA that year, and he gave it to me on a 2-0 break. So I don't know how I ended up on a 2-0 break with Iverson, but he gave it up to me, and I was like, I have to make this dunk.
And you made it.
And I made it.
What did Alan call you all the time?
Dip. He called me Dip. So I got that nickname. My first game in the NBA was against the San Antonio Spurs right after they'd won the championship in the lockout year. And I went up to try and I was not a dunker. I had that nice touch. Part of it is in high school, dunking was forbidden in my conference, so I had to figure out other ways to put the ball in the hoop. So I think it helped me develop my touch around the basket. So I went up to try and power lay it in against Tim Duncan and David Robinson, and that wasn't gonna work, and so they were gonna block me, and so I brought it back down and I rocked the cradle and then I threw it back up, and somehow it went in. I thought the bench would be all hyped, and I looked and they were all laughing. They're like, "What is this? You gave him the dip!" And so that became my nickname.
That's so funny. Did you play in the 50s or something? You weren't allowed to dunk. It was forbidden.
I think the St. James Assiniboia District Number 3. It had a couple of broken backboards, and they were $1,800 a piece.
And
they got tired. They were just like, no more dunking.
That's
so
great.
We were blowing somebody out. I tried to dunk, and knowing I wasn't allowed, I missed it. I got a technical. My coach pulled me. He was like, "What are you doing? Even if it went in, it's still a technical." I was like, we're beating them real bad. I broke a backboard in high school just because I was heavy.
Is that right? Like Darryl Dawkins? Was it impressive as Darryl Dawkins?
It was not impressive. It was a weight thing, and I just hung on the rim. And what you aren't supposed to do is go, "Oh, what was that?" and then look up in the air and just get showered down with safety glass. So I got a little little cut on my lip. Gives me a nice little scar.
All right. Well, that's Todd McCulloch, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia. As the game is tomorrow night, it's the celebration of the 25th anniversary of that 2001 76ers team. Of course, you can listen to the game right here on the flagship, 97.5 The Fanatic. Matt Cord also in studio with us. Matt, 25 years, dude.
I know. It's crazy. And we were talking the other day, like, that team was so beloved in the city. I think I told you guys, 44 straight days on the cover of the Daily News. Like, not the back cover, the front cover of the Daily News. And it started with that series with Indiana, right? We lost the first game.
Lost first game.
They won the second.
3 straight.
And we tied it up.
No.
And then I think they went up 2-1. This is best of 5 back then. Then it was 2-2. And then we took care of business at home because we had the home court.
It was Reggie Miller, right?
It was Reggie Miller, and he was, we were the 1 seed, and they were the 8. And they shouldn't have been the 8. They must have had injuries because they were too good to be an 8.
Yeah.
And then they were healthy, and Reggie is clutch, and Iverson really wanted to get that monkey off his back and take care of the Pacers, and was so proud that we finally got through the Pacers to be able to advance.
Yeah, and then the Game 7 with Toronto, the Game 7 with Milwaukee. Go out to L.A., you win that first game. The second game almost won. What?
I think we were down 2 with a minute and a half left, so I keep watching it, hoping for a different result. But we were very much.
But Kobe had a bad game that game?
I think he was fine in that one. I think it was one of the games in Philadelphia where Kobe had a tough first half, and then he hit some clutch shots down the stretch. But I think that series was closer than 4-1 when I went back.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Kobe had one game. We were looking at some box scores yesterday where he shot 7-22. It was the game AI scored 48, and Shaq had 44.
Yeah, that was on me. So sorry.
So Sean and I were talking about this before. Because then the following season you play for the Nets, and then you play them again in the finals.
Oof. That one even worse.
What is it like? And I remember how big Mutombo was, and Shaq. He was like a rag doll trying to guard Shaq. What's it like trying to guard Shaquille O'Neal back then?
It's really frustrating. It's an honor to play against somebody like that. With the Sixers in that finals game, I think I got the ball, and as a scorer, I thought, I'm not a great defender, so I have to be aggressive. So I would shoot the ball. So I start my move. I was never looking to kick it out. I had 4 assists my whole freshman year in college. I never shared the ball. So if I make my move, I'm shooting it. As I turn, I see Shaq guarding me. I'm like, what am I doing? He's not only a great offensive player, he's a great defensive player. I should not even have initiated that. I've started my steps. I'm going to travel. I have to shoot. So I went into a sweeping, running left-hand sky hook over Shaq. He just misses blocking it. It goes backboard, front rim, in. I am as shocked as anyone. I'm smiling. I'm beaming. As I run back the court, Shaq goes up behind me and goes, hey, that was a nice shot. I go, don't worry, it won't happen again. I forgot you were guarding me. Don't worry. That's the last time I attempted anything like that. So he, and then when I played him with the Nets, they'd beat us in L.A. for 2, and then they beat us, game 3 again, and I'm in the tunnel, and the valet, he's getting on the team bus, and valet's bringing my car around, and for some reason I thought I could drive a Porsche. It was a 1997. I was a comportionist to get into it. I could only get a portion of myself into it. Valet opens the door, and Shaq goes, Todd, what are you doing? I was like, that's my car. I'm going to drive him. He was like, it's not your car. Valet made a mistake. Have him bring your car. I'm like, that's my car, Shaq. Bye. I didn't know what to say. So I jump in the car, and then we jump center circle for the finals, and Shaq goes, be careful. I'm like, be careful? Are you going to punch me? What do you mean be careful? He goes, be careful driving on that little car. I want to see you get hurt. I'm like, how can you have a sense of humor right now? This is the NBA Finals. You should be taking me seriously. And
so he was a funny talker.
He was great. He was enjoying himself. He knew there was a job to do. He took care of business, but he was enjoying himself. And so I'm doing the best I can, but he's just an immovable force. And, at my size, me and Dikembe, not small people, and usually, maybe we force someone to pivot or spin or do something or fade away, and Shaq would just keep moving you. Just we're moving, and we're moving. I'm like, I don't want to move under the basket, and he would just move you down, and you're under it, and then he dunks on you. And then, I think I was in perfect rebounding position at one point. I jumped up. He jumped up higher. He got the ball, inadvertently pinched a clavicle in my nerve. I collapsed to the ground. He dunked on it. Coach is yelling at me. Pepe's like, I told you he'd hurt you. I'm like, you shut up, Pepe. Coach Brown, sorry. What did you say? So Shaq didn't mean to hurt me.
I got to run. I'm on the air.
No,
You're in good hands. You got to ride. You got to ride back to the hotel.
I'm all good.
You got a pinball guy picking you up.
Of course I do.
Yeah,
you the man,
got a pinball guy picking him up.
So tell us about that. You're a professional basketball player. You did very well for yourself. Are you looking for something to dive into? How do you become a professional pinball player?
It's not if you need money. That's not a way to do it. I just love it. I started playing when I was 10, and I'm always I'm a child of leisure. Like I love my friends. I love playing games, and I was fortunate that I got to play a game for my career. And so when I went to the roller skating rink, pinball, bowling alley, pinball, ice skating rink, pinball, arcades, everywhere I was, there was these games. And so when I was with the Nets, I started collecting them. And I started with 3, and I was like, I think something's wrong with me. Like, you're done with practice, and I don't have I'm married but no kids. I don't have to go to study table, and so I would just go home and I would play these games. And I think there's something wrong with me. I think I need help. This is all I want to do. And so I went, and my friend Rick is going to pick me up here in a second, and I went to this guitar store because I heard they had a fun house. I'm like, I want to try this game out. I want to add to my collection. And the guy is like, look, he plugs it in, and I was like, do you want to play with me? He's like, no, I'm not interested. This is my friend Rick's. This is not even mine. He's crazy. He's got like 15 of these in his house. And I was like, well, what does he have? I don't know. You want me to call him? Hey, Rick, some tall guy's in here wants to know what pinball machines you got. So he starts listing them off. I'm like, oh, that's my collection. This guy sounds awesome. And Rick's like a lot of pinball people, super friendly, super inviting. Like, you're into this? I'm into this. And he's like, do you guys want to come over right now? And the guy's like, well, I got to work. How about you, tall guy? You want to go to Rick's? I go, Rick sounds like he's an amazing guy. So I show up on his driveway. He's like, hi, I'm Rick. Let's go play in my game room. 3 hours later, he goes, I don't want this to sound weird, but I've really enjoyed this. I go, hi, I have 2. Let's have a play date at my house tomorrow. Come play my game. 23 years later, we roomed together at pinball conventions. He's going to pick me up. We're going to go play pinball at his house the same way we did 23 years ago. So that's just like a microcosm of this community. Really fun people that are just they just want to have a good time playing games. And it's something that brings us together like a friend. It's like, hey, I'm going to bring somebody to the party. Hey, you're vouching for that person. And somehow this is an inanimate object that's not human, but it has these characteristics that draws certain people in that kind of just want to have a good time. So I've overanalyzed it a lot.
No, I love it.
Yeah, it's great. I'm fascinated.
We're pinball.
We're
fans.
pinball guys.
Well, you guys need to come visit me.
Adam's Family Pinball is. I worked at a cheesesteak spot. And I worked till 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was in the back. I'd be 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be like, I got to get home. I've been playing pinball for 4 hours.
No, you're my kind of people then. You have good taste in pinball because that's one of the best machines ever made.
Yeah.
I used to have one, and I had it at a bar. And then a year later, the bar burnt to the ground, and my Adams Family melted. But fortunately, no humans were lost. But that's one of the best machines. So you need to come over and visit because I love having people over. A couple buddies came over. We played. He's like, I got to go pick up my kid, man. I can't believe 3 hours has passed.
That's great.
It's time just flies because it makes us all kids again.
Tom McCulloch, former 76er. We celebrate tomorrow night down at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. So real quick, one more on the pinball. So you live off of the coast of Washington, is that correct?
I live off of the coast of Seattle. So
okay.
Seattle's right there on the water, 35 minutes across the way, a small island. That's where my wife and I and our kids are living, and it's just a wonderful community. And we're building a pinball island. I'm trying to get my friends hooked, and so I think 10 or 12 of my buddies now have at least one machine. And
how many do you have?
Oh, about 80 or so.
Wow. All right, so that's my question. You need a separate home for the pinball machines.
We built an addition.
Yeah, I bet. A barn outside.
So it's a big room.
Yeah, it's a decent sized house, and there's games, and then we built an outbuilding, and then I have some at the pizza place on Bainbridge, and I have some at Walt's Market, and I have some at Bainbridge Brewing, and I have some at
all over,
and then it's just kind of it's a way to make people in the community have somewhere to play, because I used to love it and there was just nowhere to play. So I was like, if no one's going to do it, I guess I'm going to have to do it.
All right.
That's so cool.
I want to pick your brain during the break about pinball and actually is their strategy. But
yes.
One quick.
How much time do you have?
So we're going to go for like another couple minutes here, and then we'll say goodbye to Todd.
Bring it back to 01, just for because this is such a treat. Like this is the first time in my lifetime that I actually got together with friends. I graduated high school in '99. We started watching the Sixers. Jordan handed the baton. I often tell this story a lot. Jordan handed the baton to AI for me. And in '97, I got together with my friends to watch the 76ers. I'm prisoner in Scranton. So, of course, we're rolling. AI's doing his thing. 01, just the treat for me. So sitting here with you is just incredible. I mean that sincerely. When Vince put the shot up, did you think it was going in? Where were you on the floor? Were you on the floor?
I was not on the floor. I was on the bench for a good chunk of that series. So I was watching with bated breath and really hoping that he missed it. And there was a whole bunch of stuff going on with the graduation that morning that he spent at North Carolina, and then he got flown in. So there was all these distractions, and I was just so glad that shot did not go down, because it changed. We wouldn't be having this.
You wouldn't be here today.
I wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
And everything would be different. And so there's the whole sliding doors thing. And so I'm just so glad that he missed it, because I think that we deserve to win that series, and we were a special team, and unfortunately the Lakers were a special team too.
Man, you're not kidding. Playing with Allen Iverson, traveling with Allen Iverson, right? Like that. I mean, you're talking about, like, we look at him as I think here in Philly, we look at him as how great of a basketball player. He's an international star. I mean, he's the closest thing to a rock star as we'll ever see.
He's incredible. He's this larger than life personality. He's so much fun to be around. I mean, when I first got here, they said, Alan likes to hang out at Fridays. I'm like, Fridays must be some nightclub or something. I've heard of TJ Fridays. I was like, Fridays must be this all-night rave. And
it was actually. It really was. Yes.
And I liked Alan instantly because you can't not. And he was so much fun to be around. And so my friends from Winnipeg, they come to town, and we're a few months into the season. They're like, I can't believe you're a Sixer. I can't believe your teammates with. I'm like, I can't believe it. I don't know what I'm doing here. And so I'm sitting at a table like not far from the restroom, and Alan, left his corner booth and walked by, and I'm nervous. Like we're getting along great. I'm like, Alan, would you mind signing an autograph for my friends and maybe taking a picture? He goes, yeah, sure, I'll sign for your friends. I'll take a picture. He looked at me, he goes, who are you? And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I'm your teammate. He's like, Todd, I'm just busting your chops, man. You gotta lose. And my friends were dying. I was like, you're making me look silly in front of my friends.
So this was at Fridays on City Line Avenue, right down the street.
City Line Avenue,
right across the road.
The Days, man, and then the Hula Hands across the street. I think Alan maybe after Fridays got a little bit old, then they went across the street to Hula Hands. But those were the days, man.
They were the days. I think I was there with my wife another time, and he was there with his friends, and I came out, and he was like, yeah, you big man, you just turn and you do this, and he was sort of making fun of my lack of moves or highlights. And maybe I'd had a couple beers or something. I was like, yeah, all you do is just run and you just dive on the floor. And I just right there in the front of Fridays, I just dive on the floor. And as friends were cracking up.
All right. We know the practice. We know all the stories. We've seen the press conference. We've heard Larry talk about his times coaching Alan. You were there on the inside. Come on, give us one that we don't know. Larry and Alan, maybe not a dust up, but a bickering at practice. Was there ever one that stands out to you that maybe the audience, exactly, the audience doesn't remember?
Yeah, good question.
What was that dynamic like between Larry and Alan that year? And because that was the year where we had thought he was going to be traded. It wasn't. He was going to be traded. He was traded to the Pistons, and I think somebody wouldn't accept it.
Geiger
had a trade kicker, and I think he had to agree to it, and I think he didn't agree. So I think the trade kind of fell apart. So I think Iverson had something to prove, and then I think they just got on the same page, and all of a sudden we go to the finals together. So I think they figured out. Iverson, he wanted to play every minute. And, Coach wanted to give him a little bit of a breath, but Alan wanted to play the whole game. And so I think they were trying to find that happy medium.
When you're on the floor, as big of a guy as you are, and Alan's listed at, like I like to say, I'm listed at 5'10". I'm not 5'10". I'm listed at 5'10". Alan was listed at 6'1" or 6 foot.
I think he was listed at 6'1".
Right. I mean, what he was able to do, he wasn't a jump shooter. It's not Steph Curry out there shooting threes.
Yeah.
He was driving almost every time he's in there against the trees, against you guys. How incredible is that?
Yeah, I'm not a great shot blocker, but I was okay. And I wanted to block him in practice over the course of 3 years, and I did not block him in 3 years of practice. He was just so good about. He'd been playing his whole life against bigger people on the court in basketball, so he would go under you, he would go over you, he would go beside you. He had long arms, and he just had so much touch around the rim, and he had these sort of counter spins. And so he'd have so much speed to get that first step to go by you, but then he would put this counter spin on the ball to just deaden it. And so it was so soft when it hit the rim. And so there's one day in practice where he came around the corner, and I was expecting him to, maybe dish it, and he just jumped straight up and he just dunked it right on my head, and I was just surprised and shocked that he just came and dunked it right on me. And he's like, you haven't seen highlights of me. He goes, when I was at Georgetown, I used to dunk on people all the time. I was like, no, I know you had the ability. I just didn't know you were going to dunk on me in this moment. So he just had so much ability and so much quickness that he would get around anybody, and he had such an amazing touch around the rim. He was unstoppable, really. He was so much fun to play with.
The athleticism. He was a quarterback in high school. Yeah, it was just through the roof. And I remember his rookie season, he had that one dunk. I forget who he threw it down on. But going back to 01, the team. We know AI. We know you. We know Kincade. As far as like the totem pole hierarchy, shine the light on somebody that you think, you know what, we would not have had the success. Is it Eric Snow? Is it Aaron McKee? Who else do you think deserves the attention that maybe they don't get?
I think Aaron McKee is kind of that unsung hero that was able to do whatever we needed him to do.
6 Man of the year.
6 man. So he definitely recognized on a national scale, but he was just, the ultimate teammate. And if he had to be on the defensive end, he'd get the stop and he'd lock somebody down. He would knock, he would make the threes when he needed to. And if he drove to the basket, just that cerebral of, okay, this guy has come to double me. I'm going to drop it off to the big man or to Tyrone or whatever. So he would just always find the open man. So just a consummate professional and a true Philly guy.
Well, Todd, listen. Thank you. Thanks for coming. How excited are you for tomorrow night? Pretty cool.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see everybody. It's just such a special team, and I've sort of dreamed about this moment for a long time. I mean, the longer I was always proud of what we did, and then the older I get, every year that goes by, I realize how fortunate I was to be on a team that did special things. That these kind of things don't happen. It's been a quarter century now, and I was hoping that maybe we would be able to be brought back, and then the team was nice enough to do this and bring us back. So I've been thinking about this for years and wanting to see these guys, and I can't wait to be in the same room with everybody.
When was the last time you were in Philly? When was the last time you saw the guys?
Two years ago, I was in Philly, and I came in here and talked a little bit, and I had lunch with Aaron McKee and Matt Cord, and I stay in pretty good touch. But in terms of, I just saw Kevin Ollie for the first time in a long time, and there's some guys I haven't seen. I finished doing radio in 2008, so there's some guys 16, 17 years that I've seen. So I can't wait to share stories and just hear about everybody's families and see what everybody's doing.
Very cool. Thanks for coming in.
It's pretty good on the microphone and great.
So
hair.
were you guys?
And great hair. I mean, come on.
Thank
man.
you. I was thinking about.
And we're pinball buddies. We could.
Yes.
I'm telling you, before in the morning, we'd be like, "What the hell happened?"
It's a time warp, and I think we need things like that to keep us young. So it's a genuine invitation. If you guys are ever in the Seattle area, I would love to have you over, and time will pass quickly, and we will have a good time.
Awesome. Todd, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
This is great. Cool. There he is, Todd McCulloch. We will come back, 610-632-097, because the Eagles hired an offensive coordinator, Todd, so it's like this big, you know how the Eagles are in Philadelphia. We're going absolutely crazy.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So people have been going crazy over the Eagles. We'll come back. We'll get you the latest on what's going on with the Eagles. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Found their man. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. It's brought to you by Barbera's. Brought to you by Barbera's on the Boulevard. New year, new car. Cherokees, aboard Cherokees. $199 down, $199 a month. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. The Eagles hired Packers quarterback coach Sean Mannion as offensive coordinator yesterday afternoon. The 33-year-old has 2 years of coaching experience. He did spend 9 seasons as a backup quarterback in the NFL. Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Packers, joined us yesterday to talk about what he sees in Mannion.
He's just a very solid, good football man. Is he ready to call plays right now? I don't know, because he hasn't done it on this level. But his experience as a player in many different systems would lead me to believe he'd be very good.
And the news didn't stop there. The Eagles also hiring Josh Grizzard, the former offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers, to be the pass game coordinator. So 2 hires in the last 24 hours for that offensive staff. We'll talk to ESPN's Tim McManus coming up at 1 o'clock about everything. Sixers won the final seconds last night. Tyrese Maxey with a game winner, knocking off the Kings 113-111. And the Flyers lost to the Bruins 6-3. This update's also brought to you by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's new Lux menu has 10 indulgences, each $3 less. That much Lux could have you expecting Matra D at the drive-thru at participating Taco Bell stores while supplies last. Price of participation may vary. Tax extra. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, Best Birds Talk, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Race. Ray Dunn, thanks to Tom McCulloch. It's just actually, he went back, he signed something for Matt Menarek, our production manager. And then he was telling Tony Kukoc stories back there. Yeah. That he could have been Ray, he could have been here for an hour. It's just a matter of what's the next question that leads us into the story. So I don't even know how we got talking about Kukoc, but Kukoc came up and he's telling Kukoc stories, which were really funny.
Tony was here for a couple years.
Yeah, I don't remember how many years. They traded for him. He was good. One of the stories he was saying back there was that, and this is he's not breaking news. Larry liked George Lynch. Larry liked Tyrone Hill. He liked the defensive guys.
Yep.
Tony was a finesse player. He wasn't a grind it out. No. I'm going to play defense. I can't shoot. Larry liked guys that couldn't shoot but could play defense. Eric Snow was his point guard for God's sakes.
Yeah.
But Kukoc was this international star. He had won three titles with Michael Jordan. Then he comes here.
Yep.
And he was really good. It's like Larry didn't know how to use him because he wasn't this grinder.
So cool, man, just to sit back and, of course, talk about this team, John. And I know how important it is to you, how much it means to you to go back into those days. Not important maybe isn't the right word, but just fun to relive it, right? And those guys do deserve the attention, of course, on the anniversary. And it is funny when you do break it down that if that ball does fall in from Vince Carter or they do slip up in one of those other series.
We're not talking pinball.
Nope. Just like that. Just like that.
By the way, it might be worth just to be like, oh, Todd, by the way, we'll be in Seattle. If we can take a boat over to your island.
I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. I'm ready to go.
My uncle lives in Tacoma. So,
really?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't stop and say hi to him, but, yeah.
I'd love to get out there and check out.
Yeah, just like, hey, we just happened to be.
What's up,
here,
Todd?
Remember me? We interviewed you. He'd probably invite us over.
I meant to ask him some strategy because as pinball, when you play it, there's no strategy. It's just you got to be quick with the trigger. Well, what's the strategy?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, it depends on the game.
They're all the same. They all have flippers.
I don't want to no, but for example, Adam's Family, you need to hit certain things to then get it to then when you then you launch it, then you're trying to get like
you're right about that.
You score points.
But I'm talking about
just in general
keeping the ball in. Is there a strat? Do you whack it and try and keep it all the way up? I'm all over it. I'm killing it today with the pauses.
Pause.
I would just say I love pinball, and sometimes I'm really good at these games, and then sometimes that ball finds the hole, and you're like, "What is going on? I'm cursed today."
Ray, you a pinball guy?
I enjoy pinball.
You do?
Clearly not as much as Sean Brace. I mean.
Are you erect like Sean was sitting over there?
Not.
Also not.
Definitely not.
Felt for him. I was wondering if he was going to walk you through the hallway as Sean was saying all that. I was like, he's going to turn around and go right back to MMR.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks to Todd. That was very cool. And thanks to Matt Cord.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Shout out to Matt Cord. Keith checking in. He said, what a fantastic interview. Thank you for this. We had 2 callers drop off. It's just cool to relive the memory of the 0-1 Sixers, of course, being honored tomorrow.
Heck yeah. All right. Just one shout out. To Angry Al, who checked in via text message this morning, recovering from his stroke. And he's listening, and he says, can't walk like I used to. My right arm's not great, but I'm still here, brother.
Let's go, Al.
Let's go, Angry Al. There we go.
Is he still smoking?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not. That's what I told him. You have to stop smoking. Al.
Get better, buddy.
Yep. All right, so the big news of the day, just as we were on the air saying, well, Jesus, who is Mannion going to bounce ideas off of? He has no experience. Adam Schefter reporting that the Eagles have also hired Josh Grizzard, who was the offensive coordinator of the Bucs last season. So the big story, Sean Mannion hired 33 years old, very little coaching experience, but then they back it up with a 35-year-old hire, Josh Grizzard, who spent the last 2 years in Tampa, offensive coordinator in 2025. So they've gotten younger. They've gotten more innovative, right? And there's now and here's another thing I thought was really important. That they had some outside ideas because they had – so you have Steichen that comes in. So you have Nick Sirianni and Steichen. There was alignment with those two. Nick Sirianni originally starts calling plays. Steichen takes over when Sirianni struggles. Then it's Steichen's job until he leaves, and then Brian Johnson comes in. So there really wasn't this for a period of time from Sirianni's start, 5 seasons, Sirianni's start to where we are right now. Kellen Moore came in from the outside, but he didn't run his offense. I think the expectation was he's coming in – yeah, he's going to bring in elements of his offense, but we're still going to, really run this offense. I remember early on guys like Ross Tucker and other Dan Dorlowski saying, this isn't his offense. This isn't a Kellen Moore offense. He's running the Eagles offense, the offense that the Eagles are running, which is really the Jalen Hurts offense. That's gone. There's no coming in and after a week saying, okay, we're going to have to scrap this and we have to go back to what we were doing before. I don't think that's going to happen. This is, here's what we're doing. This is totally different. It's like the Eagles have been near last, if not last, in motion, in pre-snap motion and all these other things designed to try to complicate things the defense. The Eagles didn't do any of that. That's Mike McDaniel. That's Sean McVay. That's scheming wide receivers open. That is what the Eagles are bringing to the offense. And it's up now to the coaches to get Jalen Hurts on board with everything and be able to execute.
Yeah, that and the players to execute
exactly.
the plan.
Yep.
Because you think about, and I continue to bring up A.J. Brown's name, but let's just put an example of Puka. We're big Puka fans. Who is it? You watch him play. That dude is all over the field, running all over. But the biggest thing to me is how McVay schemed to get him open. Everybody knows they want to get the ball to Puka. I've seen times this season where McVay has Puka running into the backfield, and then when the ball is snapped, he's running through like essentially the A gap. He's coming up between the center and the tackle just to get out. And you don't see that ever take place with the Eagles offense. Now, I'm not saying they need to do something drastic like that for A.J. Brown, but it takes a lot for Puka to be able to do that. Now, will A.J. even be here is a question that needs to be answered. I don't know. But these are the things, the new wrinkles that I'm excited that will be coming with Manny. It's going to be all new. John, for the people that don't know, 2015 third-round pick. He played quarterback for 6 seasons, 2 years in the NFL coaching ranks with the Packers, offense assistant and quarterbacks coach. We went nuts yesterday. Great interview. It's podcasted on 97.5thefanatic.com with the play-by-play voice from the Green Bay Packers. I know I did. I went back and listened to it, and I immediately clipped the first Q&A where he was talking about, man, I don't want to lose this guy. Number one, I'm selfish. But number two, it's no coincidence that Malik Willis just bursted on the scene in a big way. He's about to get paid. And, oh, by the way, Jordan Love just had his best season. So it's his first year as a quarterback coach. LaFleur is LaFleur. Jordan Love is really good. But I have been impressed with Malik Willis and what he has grown into. And like I said, he's going to get a contract. He's going to be playing somewhere else. So we'll see how that plays out. But Mannion, he's the real deal. You saw Chris Long. He played with them. He was flexing about the hire. Nick Foles was flexing about the hire. He knows him as well when he was playing with them in St. Louis. So a lot of people have his back.
So it's now a thumbs up from Sean Brace?
Whoa.
Is that a yes?
All right. Let's clear the air.
Seems like a thumbs up.
Well, I wasn't a thumbs up earlier. I just want to make sure because you talk for a little bit and your mind goes elsewhere. It's not that I wasn't a thumbs up. I was just concerned. I was concerned with the facts. And the facts were this guy has never called plays, and he will be learning on the job. You don't do that as a sports talk radio host, do you? You learn on the job? How are you going to do that as the Eagles offensive play caller, especially when you're following up a guy who did learn on the job?
Bill Colarulo is almost the Sean Mannion of sports radio. Not that he's learning on the job, but he had little radio experience when he's doing weekends and working with Mike, and then he's unfiltered.
Yeah.
So he's the Sean Mannion of Philadelphia sports radio.
The chosen one.
I did vouch for him to be the offensive coordinator, so it all worked out for me.
You sure did.
A lot of people on the timeline think I should be the offensive coordinator. That's for sure.
But see, so my question is because I'm very I give a big thumbs up.
Okay.
I think this is an excellent hire. I know that I believe I'm in the minority. I'm not sure because I haven't heard what our audience thinks. What's the text line saying about the hire?
We got a nice balance on the text line. This is the negative side of things from an unnamed text here. Another smarter than everyone else move. The Mannion hire reminds me of Chip Kelly, the unproven shiny new toy.
Chip Kelly was a longtime college coach that had success and had a lot of people that
took his team to the national championship.
Right.
Lost. But.
Right. So we're smarter than you hire. I'm just like, who do you want him to hire? You just want him to if you would have hired Nagy, that same guy would have been like, oh yeah, sure, bring in an Andy Reid guy. Oh, just what you need, Matt Nagy. You got to hire the right candidate. We're smarter than you hire. I think the Eagles have proven they are smarter than us, haven't they?
They got Sirianni right.
You can. The last 10 years, the most successful franchise in one of the most successful franchises in football. That's not by luck.
Oh, by the way, yesterday was his 6-year anniversary of that press conference when he got hired.
Was it really?
Oh my goodness.
It was something.
You want to trip? We should. It was something.
He was scared to death.
Yeah, even more just to watch it yesterday on my timeline. I was like, whoa.
We got a 6-text run from Mike at Turnersville. Grizzard was fired by Tampa Bay. Cohen was the Tampa OC in 24. Grizzard destroyed his play calling. He was horrible. Why not hire a guy like Joe Lombardi? This is brutal. Brutal to hire him and mess things up. They needed to hire an adult in the room. Tampa Bay offense collapsed in the second half. Maybe they'll bring in another assistant here. The current McVay Shanahan offense has a lot of motion, needs a lot of tight ends. Eagles currently don't have not one signed for 26.
Right, but I mean, it's clear that the Eagles want to have a real NFL offense. So, yeah, you're right. Maybe they don't have the personnel exactly how they want to run that right now. You have the offseason, and you have the future, too. This isn't a one-year hire. Even if Mannion's only here for a year, you want to establish the type of offense that you want to run. That's what the Eagles did with the defense. They said this is the kind of defense we want to run. It's the Vic Fangio defense. They couldn't immediately hire Vic Fangio, so they were hiring disciples of Fangio that ran his defense. Jonathan Gannon that's the Vic Fangio defense that he ran. They tried Sean Desai. That didn't work out. Then they finally got Vic Fangio. The Eagles want to run a certain type of offense that they believe is the best offense to run. So now they're trying to find the younger guys that are out there, the Kevin O'Connells. Before anybody knew who Sean McVay was, they're trying to hire these guys before everybody knows who they are.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah, the Eagles are trying to make a smart hire. Ultimately, here's the thing. I have no idea if Josh Grizzard's going to be a good coach or not. I don't know. I don't know if Sean Mannion's going to be. That's what they're doing. That's what the interview process is. So they're going all in on these are the guys that are going to work. It's not bringing in Grizzard, who is still young but has NFL experience, and he called plays last year. Even though he got fired by the Bucs, doesn't mean that he can't benefit the staff. Jim Johnson, by the way, was fired before he became the Eagles' defensive coordinator and is beloved to this day and is considered one of the best defensive coaches in Buddy Ryan, Bud Carson, Jim Johnson. We know what Jim Johnson is and what we think of him. He was fired as a defensive coordinator. Guys get fired if they don't have great personnel or new head coaches come in or things like that. So they didn't hire Grizz. If they hired Grizzard to be the offensive coordinator, I would say, okay, I don't know if this is the right hire.
You know, it's funny. We were talking about Grizzard and where he's from as far as Lizard Luck, North Carolina. Went to Yale, played safety there. And so I don't believe you could just luck yourself into Yale. You got to be pretty smart to do that. That's one. And then last thing for the Bucs, John, just real quick. Baker Mayfield really fell apart. There was a lot of injuries. They started 6-2. Baker Mayfield, like you pointed out, MVP, 13 touchdowns, I think, to 1 interception. And then all of a sudden, he started turning the football over. Injuries played a huge role in what happened there at the second part of Tampa Bay. I like the hire. I like the cumulative hires. Let's just put it that way. You can't have enough chefs in the kitchen right at this point in time. You'll figure that out. You got time. But this is good. Now they can bounce stuff off. What went wrong in Tampa? Well, this. Play calling. What did you like? How did it flow? This is kind of, it does excite me to have all these guys in there.
Well, calm down. You were excited earlier.
Yeah. It is Friday, though.
All right. So here's what I'd like to hear. Some people that don't like this hire. 610-632-0975. I mean, obviously people that do, but why don't you like the hire? I see it out there. I see it on the timeline. I see what people are saying. I got text messages last night from my friends that were saying, like, what is this? I was at the Springford girls basketball game last night. I had people asking me there, and I was giving them my opinion.
How about that?
Yep. How about that? Lady Rams won. Big win last night over Boyertown.
I always win.
Nice.
That's a great program.
So coming up, what did Nick Sirianni have to say about the hire? We'll hear from him, kind of. We'll explain coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Maybe it'll be even more than that by next week.
What are you hinting at?
Maybe it'll be even more than discussion than an offensive coordinator. We'll see.
Every Wednesday at 8 with Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
That's right, 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. Adam Schefter. That's good to remember because he always has something to say. All right, I got something to say about hair. How about that? Look at my hair. I have beautiful hair. Like the one thing that we play. Here it is.
Hey, yeah, beautiful hair.
Yeah, and it's not because of me. It's because of Morgenstern Hair Restoration. So check it out. Keep it simple. You're losing your hair. Maybe you've lost your hair, and you've given up hope. You don't have to give up hope. You can stop hair loss in its tracks. You can regrow your hair. You can get your hair back with Morgenstern Hair Restoration. 3 locations, Ballard, Kenwood. I can almost see the office from here. Wayne, Pennsylvania, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Experience you can trust, results that you can see. Every treatment plan is personalized because it's not a one-size-fits-all type thing, right? Everybody's different. I had more hair loss than some people, but I had less hair loss than others. I had a hair restoration procedure. I had a hair transplant. My results are amazing. Right now, Morgenstern Hair Restoration is offering $500 off hair transplants for new patients. Advanced hair restoration backed by a team with over 30 years of experience. It's the new year. Get a new hairline. You can get it with Morgenstern Hair. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me via email or social media. Or if you'd like to call Morgenstern Hair right now, you can speak to their hair team. You can call and say, I just heard Johnny Marks talking about you. 610-831-HAIR. 610-831-HAIR or morgensternhair.com.
Running a business means
sure you subscribe, hit that like button, the thumbs up on our episode. Comment. You're allowed to comment also, especially if you're going to rip Sean. Sean, your clothes have been much better recently. I like that look today.
All black.
Yeah, black on black.
Black on black. Nice and clean.
Yeah.
Slimming.
It is slimming.
Which is a good thing.
It is slimming. So make sure you're subscribing to 97.5 The Fanatic. Watch us live on YouTube or go back like Sean was doing last night. Go back and watch some of the show on demand. And also just if you're not listening live on the app or on 97.5 FM, you can listen to the podcast whenever you would like. We break it down by hour or wherever you get your podcasts. Just make sure you leave a nice 5-star review. That would be nice.
And you know
Thank
what,
you.
too, for all these young and up-and-coming wannabe stars out there that are podcast, call in. You can go back and clip that, use it for your own content, get involved with the show.
Correct.
You know, we want to hear from you guys out there, especially when it comes to, like, real issues like this. The new OC split yesterday. That news about Giannis broke at 1:30. We weren't, like, manufacturing. That was a real-deal conversation where we were split as a show. Ray was wrong. He still is. But, you know, it just came out of nowhere. Get involved, baby.
No, and actually, I come in here today, and I've changed my opinion on Giannis. Yeah, I don't want him anymore.
I'm somewhat changing.
I'm with
too.
Ray. I'm with Ray.
All right.
Welcome in.
Hang on.
Water's warm.
I just want to say the nuts and bolts are boring. So when you start talking about contracts and what is
second apron?
Yeah, like all right, but I'm sorry. Can you imagine having Giannis, Joel Embiid, and Maxey come April?
Here's the reality: if the Sixers had a chance to get Giannis, they're going to get Giannis,
even to give up VJ.
Well, I mean, don't you think?
It's a Morey move. Do you think Morey does that? I do. I think Morey would move VJ.
I don't know how you can't. It gives you your best chance to win a championship.
And JoJo's got like 2 years.
If you have Max, I mean, you can make the case if you have Maxey and you have VJ, and now you can build the right way around them. It's so hard to win in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Even with great players on your team, and Maxey's a great player, and Edgecombe could be a great player. I love it. But getting someone like Giannis at this point in his career, it's still worth it. It'd be worth it. Edgecombe, it may come back to where you're like, damn it, I wish we didn't trade him.
Sure.
I feel like it's a chance that you would have to take.
That's where I'm at, and then it gets into the boring discussion that nobody wants to have, but it's the reality of like, okay, he's under contract for 2 years, then what are you doing? Now you got to pony up, and it changes everything. But at this point in time, if you gave me Giannis with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey come April and next year, I don't know how you could turn that down.
I don't even want them to come to the Sixers and ask. That's where I am, because I know you have to say yes. But I don't want him to, because I really like what I'm watching right now. And I know what happens when Giannis comes in. You think it's been like you're managing Joel Embiid and him being the big superstar that he is?
Sure.
Now you're adding Giannis to that conversation.
So here we go again.
And you have Maxey, who is now, and I don't think Maxey's like this big ego problem.
No.
He's still one of the top players in the NBA if he's a starter in the All-Star game.
That take last night, what did he go for, 40?
Yep.
And JoJo at 37?
I'm just telling you. So can you bring in Giannis and everybody is able to take the shots they want? That's the other question I have about it, Ray. You're worried about the calf, which I'm not telling you is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about the chemistry of the players on the court.
I mean, it's Giannis, Embiid, and Maxey. Like, we're talking about top-end talent there. I think they could make that work.
Starting to get excited again.
Okay. Go calm down over there.
Yeah.
Go sit back over there where you were.
No, don't put him over there.
Yeah.
What happens when he goes over there, we don't want to happen. The third chair's weird.
But anyway, yeah, so.
Good game last night. How do you score 77 from those two and squeak out a victory against the Kings? What is going on?
Put an autopilot in the second half. That's what happens.
Pretty much, and you hold on for dear life. Yep.
They were down. They were down by
back.
double
Yeah.
digits. Yeah.
Yep. So good. Even though there were 11.5-point favorites last night.
You could say it.
What?
It was a good win.
Yeah, you take it.
It's a win is a win. I mean, if you're laying 11.5 with
Okay,
this
don't
squad,
worry about it. Enjoy the win, man.
God bless you. Good luck.
Yep. Flyers got doubled up in Boston, 6-3. I actually had the Philly special. That was my Bet Parks pick of the day last night. I went Philly special. I went money line Sixers. I didn't want to do the point spread, and
Good
then I
call.
went Flyers money line. Which was plus 120, I think. Yeah, so that wasn't even close.
No.
Well, I would have lost with the puck line anyway, because that was my other consideration was the puck line.
6-3 was generous for that game,
It really,
too.
yeah, I can't tell you I was glued. I knew you were working last
I
night.
had 6 screens going.
Right.
Mannion gets announced. I got Sixers here. I got Flyers there.
And it's tough with the Flyers because they battle back, but it's like I think the teams that they're going up against like are taking the foot off the pedal. You know, it's just like, do you want to give them credit for tying it up, going down 3-0? No, just don't go down 3-0. How about that? Can we have a game where that's the case?
That would be ideal.
They've been the majority of the season, especially the start, they've been playing well above expectations. This is somewhat of who they are. They're going to lose this year. This year wasn't about making the playoffs. And unfortunately, if they continue to play the way they are, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Nope.
That sucks.
Wait, someone asked Jason when he was in on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. He's like, you got to get to this Olympic stretch and then see what happens. And it went from it looked like this team was making a surge. Hey, can they win a series or two? To may not make the playoffs again. That's disappointing.
The odds, they were like minus 220
Yeah.
on the yes. It was plus 380 on the no.
I don't know what
that was
they are
2
now.
weeks ago. Oh,
Can't imagine.
Not good.
no. Just flip that. Do it a flip. Flip it.
I've got more puck talk than I've ever gotten in my entire life.
Well, that's good for the 2 people that hit me up constantly.
Yeah.
See that? There we go. That's our Flyers segment. And by the way, I mentioned the Springford girls last night getting the big win over Boyertown.
Nice.
My daughter was cheering. So they have youth night where they bring all the youth basketball kids in and they do a thing at halftime.
Cool.
And then there's a couple of different cheer squads. And my daughter came out in the third quarter, between the third and the fourth, and her team, the under 12 team, did their cheer.
So good.
So shout out. I love going and watching the boys and the girls play. Lucy Olson, who played at Villanova, and then she went to Iowa, and she replaced
Caitlin
Clark at Iowa. Yeah, she was drafted by Washington, so she's playing professionally down there. She's a Springford grad. She's my
Nice.
neighbor. She lives up the street. So they have really good boys and girls basketball teams there. Ray's a graduate of Springford.
That's right. She sat at my brother's lunch table.
How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, so they went to school together.
Yeah, they graduated together.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Yeah, we're close in age. Like
Yeah.
her freshman year was my senior year. Like I called her games when she was a freshman, which was insane.
Wow.
And it was very apparent that she's going to carry this team very far once we're gone here.
She's something. So there you go. All right, we have the news at noon coming up next. Ray, what do we have in the news at noon today?
We got another Joe Mazzulla clip because he's just on a heater. Tyrann Mathieu with one of the more absurd stories I've ever heard. And then
The honey badger?
the take of the century, of the year? I don't know. We've gotten to a weird place with this Belichick thing.
So we're going to put this in the take machine's going to be on?
Yeah, the take machine's running an overdrive right now.
All right. That's coming up next. News at noon. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Got their man. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles hired Packers quarterbacks coach Sean Mannion as their offensive coordinator. 33-year-old, 2 years of coaching experience. He spent 9 years as a backup quarterback in the NFL. Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Packers, joined us yesterday to talk about Mannion and what he sees in him as a coach.
He's just a very solid, good football man. Is he ready to call plays right now? I don't know because he hasn't done it on this level. But his experience as a player in many different systems would lead me to believe he'd be very good.
We know who has called plays. That's Josh Grizzard, who was also hired by the Birds. Earlier today, he is now the passing game coordinator for the Eagles. So they bring in a former OC and they hire an OC all in the last 24 hours. Tim McManus of ESPN will break it all down for us coming up at 1 o'clock. The Sixers won the final seconds last night. Tyrese Maxey scored 40, including the game winner. They knock off the Kings 113-111. The Flyers lost 6-3 to the Bruins. This update's brought to you by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Saturday, February 7th, it's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship at Xfinity Mobile Arena with Knuckle Mania 6, featuring a heavyweight title fight, plus Conor McGregor and many more. Tickets at bkfc.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, we're back. It is Middays with Marks 97.5, The Fanatic, John Marks, Sean Brace, Ray Dunn will be along with News at Noon coming up in a second. 12 o'clock hour brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more, ServiceFirstHVAC.com. Coming up at, what time did we decide we're doing this, Raymond?
Coming up next segment.
Is it next segment we're doing Sixers Knockout?
That's right.
12:30, your chance to win a pair of tickets to the game we've been talking about tomorrow night against the Pelicans to celebrate the 2001 76ers. Tickets available at Sixers.com. Get all your single game tickets. Sixers.com. That's coming up. More on the Eagles, offensive coordinator as well. But here's the news at noon.
This city needs its news.
Now, it's time for
I'd like to be remembered as a good newsman.
the News at Noon
That's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
with Ray Dunn.
All right, we're going to start with another Joe Mazzulla story. This comes courtesy of Derek White on the Old Man and the Three podcast. Talking about Mazzulla giving him a phone call over the offseason. Derek White's got a summer birthday. Mazzulla just checking in, wishing him a happy birthday, and that was not the focus of the call.
In July, and he calls me. He's like, "Happy birthday, man!" I'm like, "Appreciate it." And he's like, "Everybody thinks we're gonna suck. I love it." And then he hangs up. And so like that was just like I was like
aging nicely.
Like I can't. I was like, he's like, "I can't wait for us to get back out here. I think we could be so good." And so like this is in July. Like
Mazzulla is incapable of having a normal human conversation, it appears.
No, he's a robot, and he's insane. He's an insane robot. He's like a Waymo, but he's an NBA head coach.
Yeah, there's definitely something different about him. He was young and be able to get that job to take over for the Boston Celtics and everything that they had, the expectations. I mean, he's only 37 right now.
They won a title. Who was the coach who's now running things there?
For the
Celtics, Brad.
Stevens.
Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is like, these guys are tuning me out because Brad Stevens is a young guy too.
Yeah,
he comes from college, had success, but he's like, these guys are tuning me out. I'm going to go up and I'm going to run things. Danny Ainge leaves, and you bring in this Joe Mazzulla guy who it's like, well, who the hell is this?
First was Udoka.
Oh yeah, then it was Ime, who gets fired. Yeah, who gets fired for all the stuff.
Who's a great hire too.
Yeah, he was. He's good. He's really
mind.
Good. He's really good.
When you keep it between the lines, that guy's got it all figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right. He slides down, and it's like, wow. Well, like, what are they? And they win a title.
Celtics currently right now 29-18, good for the number 3 seed in the East. Knicks tied with them, and the Pistons all the way at the top, 34-12.
Pistons are rolling.
Good team.
Good team. I don't know if there's that veteran team that doesn't care about the regular season that'll beat them in the playoffs. You know what I mean? There's no team out there that's like, after regular season, we're fine. We just got to make the top 4 seed. So be interesting to see what happens. All right, Ray.
Coming up next here, I think it's a new podcast, but you never could be quite sure. I just didn't know Tyrann Mathieu had his own podcast. So this could be new, this could be old. It's the first time it's made it to my algorithm. He needed to pass a drug test, and he went to the internet for some advice on how to pass the drug test. Didn't go well.
I remember once I tell you a funny story. It's not funny. I could have died. But like a couple tests before I realized it was going to kick me out of school, I'm sitting in a circle, and I'm on Google trying to figure out, man, how the I pass this test? Right. Like these folks keep threatening me. Right. Right. And I'm just scrolling, and I come across some that said, man, just put some bleach in the top, the top.
Mm-hmm.
Put a little bleach in the top, and put it in your Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that. And I'm like, yo, what the Like, it felt like my whole insides was just like erupting. Yeah.
So he drank bleach?
He drank bleach.
No way.
In his Coca-Cola because he believed, he had read on the internet, that putting bleach in your Coca-Cola is going to clean the system out. I mean, it's a cleaning solvent.
Well, I mean, listen. Who am I to say that it couldn't have worked, right?
Oh my Lord!
When I thought he was talking about putting bleach on his penis.
No.
And then when he would take the pee test, that it would somehow take the drugs out of
drinking bleach. Yeah, that's probably a good way to die. I don't know how to pass a drug test. Yeah.
What happened to the old Whizzinator from Ontario Smith?
Yeah, right. Tuck it under.
But yeah, there's been other guys that have been caught trying to do that. This is for weed too, right? This is for smoking weed. I'm glad that the athletes don't have to worry about that anymore.
Sure.
That's a good thing.
But there are plenty of people that have POs and probation officers that still have to worry about that. Yeah, that's not going to work. However, I will tell you, if you do want to knock it, I just want to back it up, though. And again, I realize that, like, we have a shortage on podcasts out there.
Yep. Not enough.
You really listen to that? People would really, and I know he was a great player and he's got history, but you listen to that. That's people go to that and listen.
If you're an LSU Tiger, maybe.
Okay.
I was gonna say, you think I listen to that?
I don't know.
No,
I'm asking.
Sent me that clip.
No,
I consume everything in clips.
I didn't assume that you listened to it. I meant to how do people listen to that podcast? I don't know. We don't have enough of them. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
To be fair, from Chicagoans' perspective, maybe the wrong city. Like someone in the middle of America, really? There's people that are dying to know what Nick Foles thinks about football?
Yeah.
That guy won one
Right.
Super Bowl.
All right.
No, you're right. Outside of Eagles fans, who's really... But, so what do? You say things, and then it ends up on all the different websites, and then it gets in the algorithms because the clips are now playing on Instagram and on YouTube or whatever. My question always is, like with Pat McAfee, I've seen 1,000 Pat McAfee clips, if not more.
Sure.
I've never watched the show once.
On ESPN or YouTube?
I've never watched the show once.
Okay.
The Jason Kelsey, the New Heights podcast, I know a lot of people love it. It's the #1 podcast in America.
Yep.
I've seen 1,000 of the clips.
Yep.
I've never watched the show.
Okay.
So just because people consume the content doesn't mean they can make money off it or they're really listening to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's also why all your clips should have sponsor. But that's
Correct.
another conversation for another day.
Apple cider vinegar is how you pass drug tests. That's right. Apple cider vinegar.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Not bleach.
What? Don't you go to GNC? You buy something at GNC?
Yeah,
That's the other thing.
GNC had
They used
the
to
one.
have it.
Yeah, there you go.
They used to have. And I don't know if any of them ever worked, but that's what people used to do. They go to GNC, like, oh man, I got my probation officer's giving me a drug test. All right, Ray.
All right, last one for you.
Ray, did you ever fail a drug test?
No.
By your probation officer?
No, but I do know of the GNC product because I do know people around me that had to take drug tests, and it wasn't their probation officer. It was the people that controlled the four walls in which they lived, and they had to buy that to
parents?
Yeah.
Their parents drug tested them?
Uh-huh. You only get caught smoking so many times before it becomes an issue.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Cited?
No.
No citations?
No citations.
Okay. All right. Just no underage drinking?
Well, that's not the same
No,
thing.
but did you get caught? Because that was the
The
thing.
only time I got caught was at Temple.
When I was in high school, that's what the police department used to look for kids drinking. Because that's what you did as a kid. You drink. I don't think kids drink the same way, but that's what I got underage drinking charges as under 21.
Yeah, I only got that. At Temple, I had to go to their version of AA.
Oh, so you got caught at Temple, and you had to
they
go
sent
take
you
classes.
like some student center thing. You was all sit in a circle, and they're like trying to teach you that no, in 2 years it's okay, but right now it's not.
I had to do that for when I got underage drinking. I had to go for 8 weeks. You got to pay for it, and then it was a bunch of other kids that I got cited with.
Yeah, it was an online class, and then one in person. Let's embarrass you with other of your peers.
Did you ever shoplift? Are you a thief?
No.
Because that's also what kids. I was never a thief, but that's what kids that I grew up with used to shoplift all the time. They get caught.
I knew kids that would steal steaks and cook it for dinner.
Well, Ray would steal cigarettes from the store.
Well, that's not stealing. That's just sustaining life for me.
Borrow a box of Marlboro Reds.
All right, last one for you here. The Belichick takes have taken over, and now it's Rob Parker going on Stephen A. Smith's show, and here it is.
Wow, that duo.
Let's put the end to all the Belichick Brady takes.
I said this, Steve, 5 years ago, that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick aren't deserving of the Hall of Fame because of the cheating scandals. I applaud the pro football writers who voted against him and the people who said they're not going to accept the cheating part. We know Bill Belichick is one of the all-time great coaches, but his legacy is tarnished from the cheating scandals.
There you go, Rob Parker. That's the news at noon. So Rob Parker's been hosting a national Fox Sports Radio show.
Correct.
For a couple years. He was with Chris Broussard. I don't know who his new partner is, but I follow Fox Sports Radio on Instagram.
Kevin Washington from L.A. is his partner.
Yeah, and I've never listened to the show, but Rob,
The Odd Couple.
The Odd Couple, it was with Chris Broussard first, and being a former Fox Sports Radio person for iHeart.
So I know that very well with Rob Parker. But go ahead.
So Rob is one of these guys that he has the takes, and he doesn't believe half of them or maybe 60% of them because it's the Tom Brady shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, Bill Belichick shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. But that's everything he says. Every night he's got a different absurd take, but he does a good job of arguing them. I mean, like I guess the best job that you can, but like every time I see one of the because Fox Sports Radio on Instagram will put out like a reel, a video, and it'll get like nobody will care. Nobody will like comment or whatever. Rob Parker's will have everybody commenting because what he's saying is Bill Belichick doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. So keep that in mind with anything you hear Rob Parker say.
Yeah. But imagine constructing that take 5 years ago, and then this week happens.
Oh yeah,
obviously
Christmas.
terrible. Don't want it. Don't love it. But this has to be his greatest week. Like I'm almost upset we got to Friday, and that was the first time it popped up on my algorithm. Like, you should be taking the victory lap of all victory laps. You had that take. You said 5 years you've been going with that take, and we just now heard from you on Friday of this week. This has been the news all week.
Right.
I'm disappointed. Rob Parker, your victory tour has to be better than this.
Yeah, he buried the lead.
Yeah, he doesn't believe a word he says, knowing him for years. I actually was on his radio show before, believe it or not. And,
on The Odd Couple?
Yeah. And I will just say there's a lot of people out there like that, and he's respected. Right? He's a African-American voice. I believe he teaches, if I'm not mistaken, baseball. Like, he's a respected voice, and it's unfortunately that he follows up and does that stuff. So you get into the conversation of entertainment, trying to build it, whatever. I don't subscribe to that theory, man. How could you live life and say that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick aren't Hall of Fame? Like, when be a sports talk radio host.
When the direct deposit hits every 2 weeks.
I guess.
It's theatrics.
Well, I want to put this out there if I can, because as usual, people go way too far. Now, the people that are saying everybody cheated, like, the biggest thing for me, Spygate, real quick, John, is the fact that Goodell destroyed the tapes. Yeah. I wish we were able to see it. I wish we were able to see what exactly was on those videotapes. And then I can give you an opinion of, like, if it was no big deal. Like Jimmy Johnson coming out, everybody did it. All right, that's fine. Yeah, you tried to steal signals. I get it. But when you're sneaking into practice and you're filming from above, or you got this, like, I wanted to see the tapes. And you know damn well that those tapes were damning, or else he wouldn't have destroyed them back in 2007.
When you go back to cheating and you go into baseball, stealing signs is a common practice that all teams try to do. When it becomes crossing the line is when you're banging trash cans and you're watching
technology.
Technology, right. When you have an Apple Watch and you're relaying signs like that, or you're banging trash cans because people are watching on the TV, and that's how they know. I mean, isn't that so simplistic, but like unbelievably effective?
Unbelievable.
When you know if a fastball or an off-speed pitch is coming.
How about how they found it and you heard the noise?
It's like, how did they miss that for so long? It's fascinating. I listen to there's a podcast out there, like an 8-episode podcast on the whole thing, which is unbelievable.
I need to check that out.
There's players that literally got demoted after starts against the Astros and never made it back to the big leagues because they got lit up, giving up home runs. Think about that.
Yeah.
Even if you would have never been back, you feel like part of it's like, damn, I had my shot and I failed because of this cheating.
And they won the World Series. Yep. We had Mick Bullmeyer out there in the bullpen with the flashlight, didn't we?
Wait, binoculars. Oh, doing something else. Like, I know that cheating happens.
Yes.
Honestly, like, I've been told by plenty of former players that a lot of this stuff happens. It's the fact, like you said, the cover-up's always worse than the crime. The whole Deflategate cover-up was worse than the crime. It really was. And the fact that, they didn't do anything wrong. Sure they did.
Yeah.
Like, sure they did. Tom Brady liked the footballs a certain way, and they made sure that he got the balls like that. Now, was it a major? Am I breaking down PSI? No. But if they would have just said nothing other than, well, we didn't know we were doing anything wrong, even though they did, they knew they were doing something wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, it always just irked me with what Goodell did as a commissioner. That should never happen, but we know Goodell operates.
He's greasy.
He works for the owners, and the owners were like, this is not good. We're talking about a Super Bowl. We're talking about filming the opposing team at a practice for the Super Bowl.
I always get people from New England that will say that we got all this wrong. Because you know how we know more than anybody about the booing of Santa Claus? Sure. It's just like they didn't boo Santa Claus. There's a reason they were booing Santa Claus. They were winning the game. It wasn't the real Santa Claus. We know the story. the New England people know the story about the filming, what they were accused of, and everything else. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, if you're the commissioner, you have to make sure that everything's on a level scale, and that like if something did happen, then tape shouldn't be destroyed.
Integrity.
The integrity of the sport.
That's it.
Yep.
I'll tell you what,
right.
we can use a little something like that right now as far as a conflict or anything to bring some to shine the light on the Super Bowl, because nobody cares about this game at all.
Yeah. Imagine if it was the Denver and their crappy quarterback against Sam Darnold.
I know, right? Are
What it would
we
be like.
undervaluing this Super Bowl? Like
you're not.
It's gonna be a good game though, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the game.
But just the buzz.
It's the week before. I mean, unless you're getting, wow, we got the Bills against the Eagles, or we got you have two high profile. Last year, the Chiefs against the Eagles was a big story. Saquon Barkley, Mahomes, they're going for 3 in a row. Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, what are they going to do? It's not this. I mean, the NFL, if they're looking, all things being equal, this isn't a great matchup for them. But I think the game's going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't know how good New England is. I would love to see New England get their butts beat.
Please.
Right?
4.5-point dogs now.
Yeah, they're not big underdogs. So it's not. Is it going to be the best game in the world? I don't know. I love football. I'm looking forward to the game. I don't need bells and whistles or parties or anything like that.
How about Bad Bunny? You excited for Bad Bunny at halftime?
I was looking to do a segment next week, Bad Bunny or Bugs Bunny, and then say a line. And is it Bad Bunny or Bugs Bunny?
Please.
Can we do it?
I'm in on that.
Dude.
So in on that.
He's got some good tunes. I have no idea what he says, but there's really good beats. Really good beats.
Yeah, one of the shows I listened to was playing some of his hits. Like, could we play some? I don't know anything about him other than he's pissed the president off, and I don't even know.
He's the number one streaming artist. He's global. I just know his music, it will make you bob your head. I don't care if you're Jim Bob from way down there in Lizard Lick. If you are honest with yourself, you'll listen to it and you'll be like, yeah, that's a good groove right there. No matter what the vocal is. He's got some good tunes. I have no idea what he's saying in any of them, though. But I will listen to Bad Bunny.
I don't know either. So we have the Sixers tickets coming up here a little bit before 12:30. So we'll cue you call in a second for that. The Knuckle Mania is this weekend. I was doing power rankings at the station for Knuckle Mania.
All right.
If we were doing who'd be the number one seed, who'd be the number one seed at the station for Knuckle Mania?
Ricky Bo.
Number one.
Yeah.
Correct. Number two. See, I went Connor.
Is Connor a tough guy?
I went Connor over Colarulo.
I don't think Connor's ever been into a street fight in his life.
But, I mean...
I don't know.
Is that... Do you have my read?
I have not seen him out in a street fight. I want to clear that one up.
Judge a book by its cover, right?
I'm sure Ricky Bo... I mean, has Colarulo been in a street fight?
No, he gives
Maybe a hockey fight.
He's a big dude, though.
He is a big dude. Well, it's between Connor and Colarulo, and I went with Connor because he's a little bit younger.
Okay.
And Bill is... Bill's also more intelligent, so
he's
he
got
may
the
be
dad stack.
Yeah.
So he might be back.
Connor comes off as a very nice.
But
nice
if he
dude.
gets tested with that dad stack, what happens? No,
then he ends up with Belichick and Brady.
He'd be good.
Do you know who needs to be on that top 5?
Who?
Your boy over here, Ray Dunn. Ray's got a hot streak. You could see sometimes the redness rising in his face. It hasn't got to his forehead, but when he gets a little the Giannis, when we butted heads over the Giannis, you watch the video,
he gets mad.
It went about halfway up. So yeah, he's got a little.
No, I've got the worst of the combinations. I got the Italian with the Irish.
Right.
I get.
Okay.
I'll get mad.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
see
Do you know about the knockout with him and Ricky?
I heard something about this. Is it real or is it
Ray in basketball knockout? We're going to play Sixers knockout coming up in a second. He knocked Ricky out of the tournament.
Yeah, and
Ricky, in an angry fit, threw him to the ground and then pegged him with the basketball afterwards.
Okay, afterwards.
Ray went up. It was one of the.
I was fouled.
Ricky's ball was bouncing away.
It's knockout. You're not. There's no fouls.
Well, then he shouldn't hit me.
He fouled him. He tried to prevent him from shooting it because he knew this ball bounced away, and Ray was about to shoot a layup to knock him out.
Well,
Ricky went up and fouled him, so it went in and won.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then as Ray was running away or trying to get away, he pegged the ball at him.
I went to the ground. He grabbed the ball that I made and threw it at me.
There's no rules.
And there's a video.
I mean, there are rules to knockout. That's how you constitute a game.
Hold on. Yeah, I didn't think it was full contact in knockout.
I don't know. It's knockout.
Well, coming in March, Brace trying to knock
You
people
will be-
out.
yes, you're
in
back.
Sixers knockout.
I'm back.
And I guess we're going to have to write this into the rules because Sean thinks that you're allowed to
You can
foul.
put your butt into someone. You can hip check them. You know.
You get to watch the video.
Yeah, we'll send you the video.
But anyway, so we could actually have bare knuckle between Ray and Ricky, and then we could have the knockout tournament. So 2 knockouts in a row.
Have you ever seen the bare knuckle fights?
Yeah.
They're warriors.
Yeah, I don't even want to watch it. It's so bad.
It sounds different.
It's tough to watch. It's tough for me to watch.
Sounds
Yeah, they're
different.
bare knuckle boxing.
Correct.
These poor guys, what are they doing? All right, coming up. So here's what we're doing. All right, are you ready, Sean?
Yes.
You're not eligible, but
Okay.
you're going to play along at home.
I'm in.
So we're going to cue you to call. These are for tickets to tomorrow night's game, the big celebration of the 2001 team. You're going to call 610-632-0975. Nate Tennyson, our associate producer, came up with a ton of 76ers trivia questions from the 2001 season. So we're going to line you up. I'm going to go to the first line. I'm going to ask the question. If you get it right, you stay on. If you get it out, you're out. And then I go to the next caller. Whoever gets it correct survives. Whoever gets it wrong is gone. And then there's no new callers. So then it's however many people are left after that first wave of questions. Then we go back up to the first caller. Ask them the question. So when you lose, you're out. If you win, you stay in. Makes sense? Just like knockout.
Love it.
610-632-0975. Sixers knockout trivia next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
At long last, I'm Ray done with this Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries, and they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Finally, the Eagles have an offensive coordinator. They hired Packers quarterback coach Sean Mannion as the OC. He's a 33-year-old who has 2 years of coaching experience, spent 9 seasons as a backup quarterback in the NFL. Wade Larrivee, the voice of the Packers, joined us yesterday to talk about what he sees in Mannion.
He's just a very solid, good football man. Is he ready to call plays right now? I don't know because he hasn't done it on this level. But his experience as a player in many different systems would lead me to believe he'd be very good.
One of their other candidates for the offensive coordinator job was also hired by the Eagles. John Grizzard was hired today as the pass game coordinator, joining that offensive staff. What does it mean? Tim McManus of ESPN will join us at 1 o'clock to talk about that. Sixers won the final seconds last night, 113 or 111 over the Kings. Tyrese Maxey hit the game winner. He had 40, and Embiid had 37 in the win. And the Flyers lost 6-3 to the Bruins. This update's also brought to you by Wawa. The $5 big breakfast deal is back at Wawa. Get any Sizzly, any size coffee, and a hash brown, all for just $5. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers Flyers best bird stock in town. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Sixers tickets coming up here in a second. We'll play Sixers Knockout. By the way, a couple people dropped off right at the end of that break. So if you want to try to win the tickets, and this will just be as people drop off, you keep dialing in. You can dial back in if you get it wrong. 610-632-0975. I just shout out to Double Visions up there in Horsham. Legs and Eggs next Friday.
Hey now.
Omelet Station. That's a good idea.
Legs and eggs.
Legs and eggs.
That's got a ring to it.
I'm a man. I could do a bacon and cheese omelet.
What time we rolling in at?
It's at 11 o'clock, right?
It's not too early.
No, not too early. Never too early.
No.
Well, no, in that line of work it is. Let's be honest. Those girls aren't getting home till late.
Right. You just give them the night before off. Maybe they work a split shift, something like that.
Double Visions?
Yeah.
I think they're 7 days a week up there.
They might. Well,
It's
listen.
a tough economy, man. We all got to work.
Well, that's a good point. Legs and eggs.
I'm in.
It's awesome. It's a great idea. All right. Here's what we're doing. Let's cue the music there, Raymond. All right. 610-632-0975. It's real clear. All right? All right. So we're full now. So now everybody hold the line. All right? Because no one else can call in. Of the 6 that are on here right now, who will remain? Who will be left? We have Mark from South Jersey, Chris from New Jersey, Dale from Northeast Philly, Casey from Percy, Sarah from Lancaster, and Tom from Downingtown. We're going to start with Mark. If you get it correct, you stay. If you get it wrong, you're out. Mark from South Jersey. Mark, hello.
How's it going?
Excellent. All right. The 76ers record after the first 10 games of the season. Again, this is 2001 76ers trivia. The Sixers record after the first 10 games was what?
Oh, man.
3 seconds.
7-3.
7-3 is incorrect. Don't answer because we might go back to that.
No, I'm not answering. Yep.
Do not answer. Yep. All right, we got to actually. Sorry, Mark, you're out. All right. See, you could remain at the end.
Yeah.
You don't even have to answer a question. If everybody gets them wrong, you could win without answering a question.
That easy.
Chris from Jersey. Chris.
Yo, what's up, Marks?
What is up? All right. How tall was Matt Geiger?
Oh, Matt Geiger. Wow. Wasn't he 6'10"?
Matt Geiger was listed not at 6'10". We'll save that again. Let's go to Dale. Dale in Northeast Philly. Dale.
Yeah, what's my question? Let's go.
Dale, who is the GM of the 76ers team?
Oh, that's an easy one.
That's Daryl Morey.
Was it Daryl Morey? It was not. All right. So who do we have left here? We had someone drop off.
We did.
Right.
So we
have Casey.
Yep.
And we have Tom. We should get one more person allowed to stay. Casey in Percy. Casey.
Hello.
Casey, who is the GM of the 2001 Philadelphia 76ers?
Billy King.
Billy King is correct.
There
you remain.
Oh, nice work, Casey.
All right, so hold on. Is Dale who's the last contestant? Don't put anybody else's name up there unless they're still in.
I would say 5 would be Tom, and then we need one more.
We need one more.
We're working on that on line one right now.
Yep.
Okay. Tom in Downingtown. Tom, hello.
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys?
Tom, who is the president of the 2001 Philadelphia 76ers?
Pat Croce.
Pat Croce's correct.
Let's go.
All right, so we have 3 left. Stan in Northeast Philly is going to be next, and then we go back to Casey, and then we go to Tom.
That's correct.
Stan in Northeast Philly, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Excellent. All right, so Stan, there were 4 players on the Sixers that averaged double figures in scoring that season. One is Theo Ratliff, who was traded. Who were the other 2? Or name one of the other 2. Allen Iverson led the league, obviously, in scoring. Theo Ratliff, who were one of 2 other players that averaged double figures in scoring that year?
Dikembe Mutombo.
Mutombo is correct.
Yeah.
The other was Aaron McKee.
Wow.
All right, so we have Stan, Casey, and Tom left.
That's
there.
correct.
Sean Brace. All right, let's go.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Let's go to Casey. Casey and Percy. Casey, who? Where did Theo Ratliff go to college? I'm going to give you 4 choices: North Dakota, South Dakota, University of Wyoming, or University of Idaho.
I'm going to go Wyoming.
Wyoming is correct. Casey.
How about pulling that from you-know-where?
We are playing for tickets to the big night tomorrow night, Sean Brace.
Theo Ratliff has 2 7-foot kids.
Yeah, you sent that the other night.
And they're studs.
Are they both really good?
Yeah, they're going to Division I. I think USC, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
2 7-foot twins.
3 remain. Tom from Downingtown. Tom. All right. Are you ready? What number?
I'm ready.
What number did George Lynch wear for the Sixers in 2001?
Was he 9?
He was number 9. You remain, Tom.
Bang.
Stan in Northeast Philly. Stan, for you,
Yeah.
there were 2 players that represented the Sixers at the All-Star game. Who were they?
It was Allen Iverson and Dikembe Mutombo.
Allen Iverson and Dikembe Mutombo is actually incorrect. Mutombo was still a Hawk.
Correct.
Don't give the answer.
Nope.
Because we're going to come back to Casey and Percy. Casey, same question. And if you get this incorrect, Tom from Downingtown is the winner. Who were the 2 players that represented the Sixers at the All-Star game?
It was Theo and Allen Iverson.
It was Theo and Allen Iverson.
Nice.
I was thinking that would trip somebody up with Mutombo.
Oh, yeah.
They actually, if you remember the game, Mutombo and AI were like, they were like going back and forth. They were on the same team, the East, but it was like, wow, he could be a 76er.
Where my coach
this
at?
could really work.
Where my coach at? Yep.
All right, we're
So
going to go to Tom in Downingtown. Tom, are you there?
I'm ready.
All right, you get this incorrect. Casey wins. Otherwise, you remain alive. All right? Which 2 players on the team attended Georgetown?
Allen Iverson and Dikembe Mutombo.
Allen Iverson and Dikembe Mutombo is correct. Excellent job. All
I
right,
think that might have got me.
go back.
I was like thinking for a second.
Go back to Casey and Percy. Casey, where did Larry Brown go to college? And just to remind people, if Casey gets this incorrect, Tom wins.
That's right.
Casey?
I'm sorry, who was that?
Larry Brown. Where did he go to college? 3 seconds.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Is he Googling Sean Brace?
I don't think so. That would be too fast to Google there. I think he's on.
You know why I know he's Googling? Because did he say who was that, or did he say what school?
No, he said, who is that? He said,
Who is that?
I don't think he was Googling. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We know our listeners. They don't cheat.
Well,
After we did that whole segment about how cheating might actually work out for you.
all right. Let's go to Tom in Downingtown. Tom, question for you. What 3
That was
teams?
a Google job, by the way.
Oh.
What 3 teams did the Sixers beat to reach the NBA Finals?
Pacers, Raptors, and Bucks.
Pacers, Raptors, and Bucks is correct.
Keep it moving.
Hang on a second. All right, Casey, for the game, you got to get this correct.
You better not be Googling.
The Sixers played 23 playoff games. How many times did they score 100 points or more? And I'm going to give you 4 choices. So 23 games, they scored 100 points or more 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, or 20 times.
I'm going to go 15.
15 times is incorrect. We have a winner, Tom from Downingtown. Tommy! Congratulations, Tom. Tom, this is where you go, yeah, yippee, woo, thanks, guys. And
I already did that. My bad. Let's go. Sixers. Woo!
Who you gonna take down to the game, Tom?
I'm not sure. Probably my buddy John.
All right.
Nice.
Well, you and your buddy John have fun, man. Thanks for listening. Hang on a second.
Tom and John.
The Tom and John show. Almost like Tom and Jerry. Sixers scored. Ray knows the answer. How many times you think they scored 100 points? 23 games.
A question like that, 5?
Yep.
Yeah.
5 times. You remember, NBA wasn't a big scoring league back then.
Definitely not.
And even though AI and Vince Carter were scoring 50 points in some of those games, nobody else was scoring any points.
No, exactly. You go back and just look at the roster. Sure. You know.
Yeah.
Not like Joel Embiid and Maxey going for 77 between the two.
All right, noted Sixers reporter out there, Kyle Neubeck, says he knows whether the Sixers would trade Edgecombe for in a Giannis deal. I'll tell you what he said. Would the Sixers be willing to do it? He has inside sources that say yes or no.
Interesting.
That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
You never stop thinking.
97.5 The Fanatic.
What?
All right, so Sean, here is and Ray, here is what Kyle Neubeck of PHLY, longtime Sixers writer, reporter. Kyle's a good dude.
Yes,
friend of mine.
it's very good.
Says the following: Sixers have zero interest in trading VJ Edgecombe for Giannis, per Kyle Neubeck. He's completely untouchable.
Interesting. Well, that means they value the heck out of him. Depending on what you believe during the draft, there were some rumors that were out there that said that Daryl Morey was trying to move up for Harper for San Antonio. Whether that's valid or not, look, there's a lot to like about VJ, and then there's a lot of flaws, I guess you could say, when it comes to Giannis, his injury, the injuries that he's currently dealing with. Of course, what has taken place this past season, especially in playoff time, and, oh, by the way, that contract. So it takes two to tango. You might say, oh, I'm not moving VJ Edgecombe. However,
until they call and say, hey, we'll trade you for
I saw somebody out there floating the possibility that the Sixers could be at the table without moving VJ with a number of players and picks. Jared McCain, Grimes is an interesting contract.
Whoever said that's an idiot, and we don't need to talk about that anymore. You're not getting Giannis by trading Grimes.
No, you're not, but at least you can have a conversation on the phone. Look, if you're Milwaukee, it starts with what do they value? What do they want? Milwaukee, I believe, doesn't want players back. However, VJ would be a nice player to get.
You want a young player.
Give me picks. Golden State, they have picks. Although the Sixers have picks too.
They do. They don't have the 5. It makes me happy to hear because I really, really like what I see from the young guys. I do. And the fact that Embiid now, and they know how to play with each other too. Edgecombe knows how to dial it back when Embiid's not in there. And if he's feeling it, Maxey will kind of let him go a little bit. And we're not even at the All-Star break. And they've already figured out, here's what we need to do when Joe doesn't play. Here's how we can kind of play when he comes back, and you let him have his shine because he needs his touches. And Edgecombe, at such a young age, as a rookie,
sure.
How many games have we played so far this year? 45? Not even 50?
Not 50. We're right under.
Right under 50.
Right under 50, in the 40s. And he's wise beyond his years. He's mature beyond his years.
Sexy as out.
And it's also, he is truly about, we're going to outwork everybody. It's all about, like, He's showing up early. He's leaving late. He's working harder than everybody. That's just his mindset. And you need players with that mindset. Not all of them have it.
I'm just saying. Giannis and
I know
the opportunity to get him and his next stop. Put the calf injury to the side for just a second. Just enlighten me, Ray. You're getting Giannis, who, if it wasn't for Joker, would be the player of the decade. Giannis he's the freak. He really is. He does it all. He's averaging 28. 64% from the field. He's shooting 39% from 3 this year. Like, the numbers are insane. And this is the first time that everybody has been trying to get Giannis over these years. And this is the first time that he becomes available. And now we're not going to do that because of VJ Edgecombe, a rookie. And I love VJ, but when you say it out loud and you can have Giannis, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey in the same uniform come April for playoffs, and we're not going to do it because of a rookie?
So after we had the back and forth yesterday, I also went back, and I did see just the way I came back at you there. And I thought about it more because I was like, maybe I'm being too close-minded. And then I really worked through the logic of it. I'm like, all right, you could add Giannis to this team. So let's go through that process of adding Giannis. I give up 2 draft picks, 3 draft picks, whatever it comes down to.
Sure.
I got to throw VJ in there. I got to throw Paul George in there because contract-wise, he'll have to get moved somewhere. If it's not to Milwaukee,
which, by the way, is a 3-year deal. Or 3 years left.
I got you. Yep. Yeah, so he goes. I'm assuming it's not just going to be VJ and Paul George that go. I would assume an expiring contract goes. So say you throw Oubre in there. Maybe it's a Grimes that you throw in there. There's 3 guys from your rotation that go in there, if it's just Oubre or Grimes. You get Giannis back. You've taken 3 guys out of your rotation. You bring a guy with calf injuries. And you're telling me now the team is going to be Maxey, Giannis, and Embiid with a thinned-out bench. And we're going to have to rely on guy with calf issues and guy with knee issues to carry you through a regular season into a postseason. But, hey, don't worry. Next year, they'll be a year older, and that's when you get to reload the depth around
Then it'll be fine.
Then they'll figure it out.
No, I mean, what could go wrong, Ray?
Yeah.
To your point.
I tried to open my mind, but I ended up more narrow-minded than ever.
Ray, I was watching the girls' basketball game last night, and I was thinking, because I'm talking to people, and they're asking me about it or whatever, and I'm like, I still know that if it happened, I'd be so excited because it'd be a really big deal. It'd be the hottest ticket in town.
They'd be favorites.
It'd be unbelievable. It doesn't mean they would win.
No, you're right. But hang on, let me push back on Ray, though. I'm not giving all that up. There's no way you're getting all that from me. If I'm giving you VJ Edgecombe in the picks, but Paul George has got to go, I'm with you. But Oubre stays, Grimes stays.
Let me get involved.
Right, let me get 4 first-round picks from the Warriors.
But hang on, let me get involved. Those players don't have value, Ray. They're on one-year contracts. What the hell does the Bucks want with Oubre? And you want guys that you can just tell to go home, or you want guys that are going to stay and are under contract and are good values, or you want draft picks.
Or they're a part of where you're making this a 3-team deal. They're a part of you're sweetening the deal.
Sure,
that's fair.
What's the reason for the Warriors to take the George contract off your hands? Because then they could move Butler over to the Bucks and get out of that deal. Like, you got to give them a sweetener. Like, if there's a third team, there has to be more going to that third team.
No, agree. But Milwaukee needs more than like they need draft picks. They want good young players.
They're
and draft
resetting.
picks.
Yeah, they're going to reset.
Right.
But I
So
think more has to come out from you to get this done.
I agree.
I don't think it's going to be a 2-team deal here.
But what do you have?
That's fair.
What would you have?
But you're giving up some part of your rotation.
No, but Grimes, yeah, see ya.
Well,
By the way, Grimes can play himself out. He already looks like he could be out of the.
I can't believe Quentin Grimes has a no trade clause too. Unbelievable that he has a no trade clause.
I'm just saying, hey, listen, if you want to watch the Blue Coats come up here once a week to play a game when both Giannis and Embiid are out, you sign up for it.
I'm out on the. It doesn't sound like it's going to happen.
Look,
anyway, but I'm out. I just like it too
Giannis,
much.
Maxey, and Embiid. First of all, you putting Embiid and Giannis together? All right, look, Giannis ends up with the New York Knicks, and then come playoff time, I don't hear any crying.
Fair point.
That's fine.
I don't want to hear any crying.
That's fair. Absolutely fair.
Okay.
I just think we have finally seen, hey, here's a young backcourt that we can get excited about. Why are you going to force me into the 30-year-old thing again?
Yeah, that front court would be unbelievable. with
Malcolm and
Embiid
Conshohock, and you got about a minute. Go ahead.
The fact that the Sixers have finally gotten younger and hungrier and more talented, and the moment that they do, y'all are ready to trade for a retread. Somebody already got their championship.
I don't know if he's a
Giannis, come on, man, put some respect on Giannis' name, Malcolm. Come on now. A retread?
I know how good he is. I know how good
He's
the
not a
Sixers are going to be if they hold on to their young talent. Do you see the Oklahoma City Thunder clamoring for Giannis?
Oklahoma City has put together an unbelievable team. There's no denying that. We're not OKC. You got Joel Embiid, who has, 2 years left, healthy? I'm trying to maximize this window. I have Maxey, Embiid, and Giannis. Look out. He's not a retread. Put some respect on Giannis' name.
See, I didn't go there. I didn't call him a retread.
Come on now.
My biggest issue would be is there enough, does it work? Does it work having a player of Giannis's caliber and what he needs with Maxey here and with Embiid here? That's a lot of big, Embiid and Giannis, big personalities, right?
Must see TV, baby.
Holy cow. For everybody that says no, I totally hear you, and you're full of crap if you wouldn't want to see it. Right?
I mean, yeah, obviously.
Okay, yeah. Just so everybody knows, because it feels like if we did a poll, it'd be like 80% would say no.
Correct.
All 80% of you are total full. You know what?
Be going
crap.
nuts come
going
April.
nuts.
Yep.
All of you are all full of crap. All right? Including you, Ray. Including me.
Listen, if I'm in charge, it's a no.
And by the way, you have an opportunity to actually win the title come April. All love and respect. I think we're a contender, but I got the home bias kicking in.
Well, he's worried about not having Grimes on the team, Ray. It's like, well, what would you do without Grimes?
And Oubre and his guitar he brings on the airplane.
Man, all these years they have no bench. They trade for Giannis. There'll be no bench. And I don't know how they did it. How'd they end up with no bench again?
All right,
that's fair.
Coming up, Tim McManus. ESPN weighs in on the Sean Mannion hired and Josh Grizzard, the Lizard, as the pass game coordinator from Lizard. He's Grizzard from Lizard Lick, North Carolina, but he went to Yale. It's so odd. Tim McManus, ESPN, his opinion on all this coming up next. Middays with Marks.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Got their OC. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles hired Packers quarterback coach Sean Mannion as their offensive coordinator yesterday afternoon. The 33-year-old spent 2 years in coaching and 9 seasons as a backup quarterback in the NFL. Wayne Larrabee, the voice of the Packers, joined us yesterday here on Middays with Marks to talk about what he sees in Mannion as a coach.
He's just a very solid, good football man. Is he ready to call plays right now? I don't know, because he hasn't done it on this level. But his experience as a player in many different systems would lead me to believe he'd be very good.
Someone who has done it at this level, Josh Grizzard, the former offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was also hired by the Eagles. That coming earlier today. He'll be the pass game coordinator, so 2 hires over the last 24 hours for the Birds. Tim McManus of ESPN will join us next to talk about all of it. The Sixers won the final seconds last night. Tyrese Maxey had a game winner. They knocked off the Kings 113, 111. Maxey at 40 and Embiid at 37 in the win. And the Flyers lost 6-3 to the Bruins last night. This update brought to you by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's new Luxe Value menu has 10 indulgences, each $3 or less. That much Lux could have you expecting a maitre d' at the drive-thru. At participating Taco Bell stores, while supplies last, price and participation may vary, tax extra. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds talk in town. 97.5, The Fanatic.
.97.5 The Fanatic. John Marks, Sean Brace, Ray Dunn. Happy Friday, everybody. It's been a weird week. I started off completely out of it with a stomach bug.
Yeah.
And I'm still out of it, but I'm back. I feel much better today. I don't feel like I'm going to throw up anymore. And
good.
I haven't had explosive diarrhea for almost a full day. It's been a good day.
Imodium.
I think I had my Lanta at the house, so that's what I was drinking.
See, I've just popped those little pills like Tic Tacs, those Imodium pills. The issue I have them, but I can't get them out of the pack.
I have similar issues with some other cold medication that I take.
Dude, can they make it a little easier on us?
Well, I guess they don't want to make it easy, so
Why?
people can't tamper. I mean, listen, I don't know.
I'm 65 and I got arthritis, like I got no shot in hell of opening those things.
I get my paring knife that I use for fruit, and I just stab it.
Got you.
But you hope that it doesn't stab the medication and do anything with it. Tim McManus doesn't have those problems.
No, he doesn't.
Because he's a big-time reporter for ESPN. He writes for ESPN.com. And, of course, he covers the Eagles here on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, T-Mac?
What's going on, boys? How you doing?
Oh, man. Thank God the search is over, Tim. I didn't think I could go into another week with offensive coordinator talk, but they finally made the hire. Let me ask you this. Just big picture, thumbs up, thumbs down, the hire that they made with Sean Mannion for the Eagles.
One thing that I thought for sure they would come out of that search with was somebody who had experience calling plays. You know, that was a big part of the issue last year, was that it was kind of a tough spot for Kevin Patullo to be in that he inherited what was a championship roster, but he had to learn on the job. And I think that we clearly saw throughout the course of the season that there were some growing pains that came along with that, and it held the offense back at times. And so the target for them when they were going into this offensive coordinator search, it was Mike McDaniel and it was Brian Dable, and let's find somebody who's going to come in who has sort of been there, done that, so they can continue with the championship push. But those two guys didn't land, and so they expanded their search. And I give them credit for expanding the search beyond what the original parameters were, because you don't just want to walk away with like a consolation prize as an experienced play caller. They went and they got somebody that they think is really bright, that they think is a growing star in this league and can be really good for them. But my question is, like, how does it fit the here and now? Because they still are on this championship trajectory, right? But
yes,
they have a young offensive coordinator who's never done it. And so aren't you sort of getting into potentially the same type of problem that you just were trying to work yourself out of? And so for that reason, I have some questions about the hire. I think that the coach himself has a really bright future, but I just wonder about what it means for the 2026 season.
Right. I think you nailed it. And my question off of that to you would be, all right, they feel like they just hired a great young mind, which Tim, listen, I don't know. I'm not in these interviews. I don't know. Like, we can only go by what we hear, you're reporting and things like that. I think it's a great hire just because it's pretty clear the Eagles have said, hey, we need to evolve as an offense. And if Jalen Hurts now needs to be able to run the preferred offense that we want. We know what Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman want to do, Tim. They want to throw the ball. That's what like normal NFL offenses look like in 2026. But they went out and they said, all right, this may not be perfect. We may not be getting McDaniel, but we have a guy. This is what we want to run. This is the type of offense we want to run. And are there some growing pains? We'll find out. But obviously during the interview, something happened where he got the second interview and they impressed him. So while not without some risk, because like everybody has mentioned, he hasn't called plays before, I like the fact that they went out and they went with who they thought was the best person for the job. And you know what, Tim? Sometimes, smart people that don't have experience, they can figure things out. So, I mean, that's the hope. I love the hire, and I give a big thumbs up for this.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about the process, is that they didn't box themselves in. And I don't think anybody expected them to come out with Sean Mannion from this process. No. And yet, as they went through it, this is the person that stood out to them. And I do think that we need to give the Eagles and Jeffrey Lurie in particular a little bit of grace or credit from the fact of he has gone outside of the box before and gotten guys that haven't been interviewed elsewhere, and it has turned into really successful hires. Andy Reid, obviously, Doug Peterson, Nick Sirianni, guys that weren't on anybody else's radar seemingly, but they identified something and it worked out. And yes, in Mannion, I think they're showing a kind of a clear sign of the offense that they want to become, because both him and Josh Grizzard, they have these backgrounds, whether it's with Sean McVay or Shanahan or Mike McDaniel or guys from that tree, Liam Cohen. So they're showing you what they want to become. I mean, they want to be less stagnant. They want to use motion more, probably under center play action more. They want to develop and be on more of like the cutting edge of offense. That's always a goal of Lurie. That obviously hasn't been the case over the last handful of seasons. So they make a big change in that respect.
I got one for Tim here. Tim, because I want to bring this back. What does it say to you like your intuition going off here, your spidey sense with Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie hiring Mannion and the 2 years as a coach, never been a play caller. What does that say to you about their thoughts on Nick Sirianni? Like, does it make you believe that they have confidence in Sirianni? Sirianni's not going anywhere. I'm not trying to push him out. This guy has been extremely successful, historically successful. Just won a Super Bowl, made it to another one. We always got to throw that in as a caveat. But does it make you think that, they have confidence in Nick Sirianni because they would not bring in somebody that had zero play calling experience and will ultimately learn on the job if not?
I had that thought as well, that this feels like a very critical year for the Eagles, for the main characters on the Eagles, for Nick Sirianni and for Jalen Hurts. And that's why it's slightly confounding that they went with somebody who obviously is going to need to grow. I mean, is there a chance that he is Sean McVay and he comes onto the scene and he's lights out? There's a chance. And I bet they feel really good about the hire and the coach and the person. But I guess if we're putting odds together of whether that's going to coalesce immediately, I guess the odds would probably be against that. Like, it takes time to develop as a play caller in this league. And so that does lend to the argument of, well, maybe, they feel good about growing this with Sirianni and with Mannion over time. But we also know where we are, guys. We're in Philly.
Yep.
We know what the expectations are for this team. And we know how high the temperature is going to get jacked up this year if things don't look good. And that could spell bad things for the quarterback, for the coach, and for this new OC that just came in. So as much as, we want to play with the idea of maybe this is a long-term posture move by the Eagles, I think we know the environment that we're working in here.
Right. And we're talking to Tim McMahon at ESPN. When Sean asked you about Sirianni, I think for me, this hire is, hey, Nick, you're literally the head coach. It's almost like you weren't an offensive coach before. We're not treating you. You're a defensive coach. You're a CEO, head coach, and everything continues to run from the front office from Howie Roseman, right? So Vic Fangio, that defense, that's what they run to run. They got Vic Fangio. They're running that. Now they're trying to do the same thing with the offense. And honestly, I think the person under the most pressure now is actually Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are telling you everything what they want to do as an organization. This is what they want to run. This is the offense they want to run. And Jalen, even with winning a Super Bowl MVP, and you've done great things here, amazing things here, you're going to have to evolve as a quarterback. This is what we want to run. And guess what, Tim? If they bring this new offense in and Jalen struggles with the same kind of things he's been struggling, they might be looking for a new quarterback 12 months from now.
But I'm on the same page as you are, John. They have essentially run some version of the same offense under Nick Sirianni for the last handful of years. Now, the offensive coordinators have looked different. Kellen Moore came in and tried to run it one way, but eventually it sort of reverted back to what, after the bye week, to what they were before. And some of that is with what Hurts is comfortable doing. And now you're bringing in a couple of guys that come from the Shanahan and McVay tree. And it's a clear directive that they want to, improve the offense, and make it more modern. And so where does the QB fit into that? Hurts has long talked about wanting to have consistency on offense. And while he hasn't had that from a play caller perspective, he has had that from a general structure of the offense. And I think that structure is going to change and possibly change kind of dramatically. And so this is a really interesting experiment when it comes to Hurts. Like, how is he going to adapt to this new scheme? How much time is it going to take for this offense to get in sync if you are having a slightly dramatic overhaul here? And then what does it mean for the success of both the offense and the quarterback in the short term? But I agree with you. I don't think they're going to just stay status quo here. I think the two hires are an indication that they're going to revolutionize this thing a little bit, and they need Hurts to sort of adapt and thrive in that environment.
Yeah, and you had mentioned Josh Grizzard earlier. He was the offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers last season. He coached under McVay, so he has those ties when he was in or under McDaniels when he was in Miami. But the Mannion hire was like, man, like, who do you bounce ideas off of? He hadn't been a coordinator before, and then they hire Grizzard. It comes down right when we got on the air this morning, and the hire made a lot of sense. Grizzard doesn't have a ton of experience. He does have experience. They have the type of he runs the type of offense that the Eagles want, and you now have these two young coaches that very much can kind of collaborate together, and one can lean on the other for certain things. So the two hires make a lot of sense as far as what the Eagles are trying to do.
I agree with you. And when it was just sort of Mannion before the Grizzard hire, the type of questions that I had in my mind was, okay, well, what is like the backup plan if the play calling doesn't go well? And how much influence is Sirianni going to have on a young offensive coordinator? And will it sort of lead to a familiar path where if there's a downturn, then Sirianni steps in, and then all of a sudden the offense kind of looks the way that it always has looked, and are you just sort of spinning your wheels in that respect? I think the addition of Grizzard is key in the fact of, all right, now if it doesn't go well for Mannion, now you do have an option number two, somebody that called plays for the Bucs last season. And I think it also allows sort of a joint effort between the two of them to shape the offensive vision where maybe, you're not leaning back towards the old tendencies quite as much. So that made me feel a little bit better about the Mannion hire, that they have somebody like Grizzard that has the experience and I think can help take the offense in a different direction.
Tim, last one from me, and it's about A.J. Brown, because I think that this offense could be completely different, obviously with a new play caller in here. But if A.J. Brown is not a part of this offense moving forward, that is just a drastic difference this upcoming season. We know what they've been able to do. We know what his numbers are. 3 straight years of top 10 offensive finishes, but last year completely bottomed out, 19th in points, 24th in yards. The latest on A.J. Brown, and what does this offense look like without him next year if that's the case?
Yeah, well, if there was the theory that the offensive coordinator hire was going to sway Brown in the direction of returning to the Eagles, I'm not sure the hiring of Mannion moves the needle. I haven't talked to Brown about that, but if we're talking about, like, if it was Mike McDaniel as an example, and he knows what McDaniel brings to the table, he knows what that offense looks like maybe you get excited about that. Whereas Mannion, I think, is such an unknown that I don't know that you can say for sure what the offense would look like, or know definitively that would be better for you as a wide receiver. So that's one thought that I have. What does that mean for Brown's future? I think Brown's future is up in the air regardless. I don't know that the offensive coordinator hire was really going to make a definite imprint on that one way or another. I think it really comes back to whether he can get back on the same page with the organization overall, with the quarterback in particular, and commit, to being an Eagle long term. Without him, they take a step back. Like, no matter what the off season looks like, you take a step back. Who's going to come in and be as good or better than A.J. Brown? I don't think anybody. And so, that's a major factor. I'm sure it was a factor for offensive coordinator candidates looking at this job. You don't really know what the future is for Brown. You don't know what it is for Lane Johnson. There's a lot of questions that come with this gig right now.
Tim, great stuff, man. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Always my pleasure.
All right. Well, my pleasure, Tim. Thank you. Tim McManus.
Love Timmy. I get excited when I see Timmy on ESPN Live outside NovaCare Complex. I do, because it's just great, and knowing what we know about Tim, coming up to the ranks, producing for Jody Mack. Tim yelled at me once.
He did?
Yeah. I deserved it. I pieced out as an intern.
You did? You just left?
What did I do? It was something like I needed to do like podcasts or put something up, something audio, and I didn't do it. And then I ended up leaving, and I think it slipped my mind. And I came back, and Tim was like, dude, Tim was matter of fact. I remember this about that situation. Tim was very straightforward. Like, hey, man, it has to get done. It didn't get done. We can't have that.
Right.
And it's not going to happen again.
Simple.
Yep. And I was like, done.
Yeah, simple.
Like, no problem.
Yeah.
Won't happen again, sir.
Yeah, that's Tim. Honestly, that was a lot of us back then when the station was just coming up and starting. We were getting on FM.
Yeah, I needed to hear it every once in a while. Nahagian gave it to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Timmy. Well, I don't know how I haven't heard a lot of the reaction, and now that it's the day after it happened last night or yesterday or whatever, and now like people are talking about it today. I don't know how many people have the worries about the lack of play calling experience. I mean, it's there.
Hey, he did just coach Team West to a victory at the Shrine Bowl. Oh, by the way, just for the people that are peppering the timeline, we had that. We were talking about that on Monday, John, while you were out.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Shrine Bowl and how he was a coach there and something that we should be watching. I watched a play, maybe two.
I love those games.
But they won. Yeah, I'm a Senior Bowl guy. The Shrine Bowl never really got attention for me, but it was played on a Tuesday
night.
Yeah.
It used to be weekend, and then I think it lost, for whatever reason, it lost its luster. You don't get the same players there, or I don't know. Because the
College basketball inventory became more valuable.
Yeah.
You got the Senior Bowl coming up tomorrow. So
Yeah. All right, so you had what Tim said? Let's hear it.
Because they still are on this championship trajectory, right? But
Yes.
they have a young offensive coordinator who's never done it. And so aren't you sort of getting into potentially the same type of problem that you just were trying to work yourself out of? And so for that reason, I have some questions about the hire. I think that the coach himself has a really bright future, but I just wonder about what it means for the 2026 season.
Yeah, totally fair. Because if he comes out, and even if it's not a Patullo situation, but the reality is that you're not getting, if you went out and you got McDaniel, you went out and got Daboll, you have coaches that have done it for a long time at a high level. This could be the brightest young coach to be. He could be a great head coach in 2 years. Doesn't mean that in the NFC Championship game that he can't get out coached by, right? So, that's the one thing, is that you're getting an inexperienced play caller. The thing that excites me, and with this and the Grizzard hire, I couldn't give a bigger thumbs up for it, because what it tells me is the Eagles are very aware that they need to change what they've been doing on offense. And the hires that they've made, they went after a guy that already does it, and now they're bringing in two guys that's what they're going to do. They have an offense that they want to run, and if the quarterback can't be the quarterback of this offense, they're going to find a new quarterback. This puts a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts. We played the Reuben Frank cut that said, oh, well, Grizzard has to come in and he has to show Jalen. No. Jalen's got to be able to get on the same page as the offensive coordinator and be able to execute and run this offense. I say the person that this puts the most pressure on is not Nick Sirianni, it's the quarterback. He's got to learn a brand new offense. They've ran this Jalen Hurts offense for a couple of years. He has to now learn a new offense, which I'm not saying he can't do. Of course he can do that.
Yeah.
But the things that he struggles with as a quarterback are what's going to be in this offense.
Yeah, look, we know about the play callers that he's been through over the years. That's been different, but the offense been sort of the same, as you said, the Jalen Hurts offense. And things have changed a lot over the past few seasons, 2 seasons specifically, because of the lack of athleticism to make those plays that he was once be able to bank on. Sneak out of the pocket, get to the first down sticks, pick up that tough first down. And, oh, by the way, let's not forget the success of the tush push. And that went away this year. They were unable to get those tough yards. So all of that
That's a great point.
Has to change. It has to change, and it will with the hire of Sean Mannion.
Ray, isn't it crazy that the Super Bowl year, they literally didn't have to really have anything that other than we're going to run it with Saquon, and then we're going to have the tush push, and the league couldn't stop it?
3rd and 3.
Yeah.
3rd and 2.
It's always 1st and 9. And it's not just 1st and 9 for the traditional 3-down setup. It's 1st and 9 where we're going to go for it on 4th because bleep you, that 4th and 1, we're picking it up.
That's right.
That's it, and that's over.
Yeah, it's over.
And Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts comes out next year and the passing game struggles on offense, it's not going to be talk radio that's talking about getting rid of Jalen Hurts. And I'm not trying to wish that into existence because Jalen is 100% has evolved as a quarterback. We've seen it. It didn't happen last year, and you can put that on the coach, and I'm totally fine with that.
Year after year, it changes.
But they're not running this RPO, whatever, boring Eagles offense before. They're going to run a real NFL offense now, and the quarterback's going to have to run it. He's going to have to run it at a high level, or the quarterback's going to be out of here. Plain and simple.
John, I hear you on what you're saying about Ruben's point about, hey, Jalen's got to take to this coaching. But given what we heard from Mike Silver earlier this week about the little Jordan conversation and the fact that he likened himself to Jordan, isn't there a little bit more than just oh, you have to take to this? Isn't there more of hey, what's the power dynamic inside of that room? How much power does Hurts yield that can you just be convinced the 33-year-old wonder kid's going to walk into there and be able to, oh, yeah, everything will just change?
All right, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, any quarterbacks like that, all right? A new offensive coordinator has to come in and has to show to the star quarterback, I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm smart. They needs to impress them Otherwise, they're going to be like, who the hell did they just hire, right? Like, that ain't Jalen Hurts, homeboy. That's not Jalen Hurts. I'm not telling you that Mannion doesn't have to come in and they don't have to have a great relationship. He doesn't have to have a good coach. But he doesn't have to come in and you have to worry about, oh, man, he better impress Jalen Hurts or it's not going to work out well. No.
I get it. He's billed as this future head coach, and he probably is a brilliant guy. It's a guy that's been coaching for 2 years versus a guy that's been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 4. Like, there are deficiencies in Hurts' game. I'm not trying to say that, like, he's perfect and we need to just, like, bow down at the altar of Hurts. But I'm just saying, like, the idea that Mannion coming in is just this home run, he's going to listen to him, hey, we're all going to figure it out here. I think there's more that goes in the power dynamics in this organization. We've seen quarterbacks get carried away with power, not just Hurts, in this organization before.
And I just want to put this out here. I know we're talking Hurts and Mannion, but the bottom line is, Mannion, you're walking into a little bit of a cluster, you know what. As I pointed out, A.J. Brown could potentially be gone. What's happening with Dallas? The offensive line was a strength. Is it anymore? Oh, yeah, there's a lot that's running smooth right now.
And where else outside of college football, SEC, is there this much pressure on the offensive coordinator of the team?
It's all on him.
I mean, we're talking about Kenny, like him and Jalen. Will they butt heads? Will Jalen listen to him? He just got hired.
It's all on him.
All right, coming up, ESPN. We got more on this. Your reaction, 610-632-0975. Also, ESPN ranked the 37 head coach hires of the last 5 years. Sirianni's included in that. Where does ESPN rank Sirianni as far as coaching hires? Favorably? Not favorably? Don't look. We'll get your guests coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What do you think of the new OC? Aubrey done with this Fanatic Sports Update. You just heard from Tim McManus of ESPN breaking down the hire of new Eagles offensive coordinator Sean Mannion, who most recently was the Packers quarterbacks coach. He comes in here, hired yesterday. Josh Grizzard hired earlier today. He was the offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers this past season. Tim McManus broke down a little bit of how he thought about this entire offense, but specifically what he sees in potential problems for Mannion.
I have some questions about the hire. I think that the coach himself has a really bright future, but I just wonder about what it means for the 2026 season.
Play to wonder, plenty of questions we'll continue to ask in the coming weeks, but the Eagles have their offensive coordinator, and you can listen to that full conversation with McManus on the Fanatic app or our website. Sixers won in the final seconds last night. Tyrese Maxey hitting a game winner. He had 40, and they beat the Kings 113-111, and the Flyers last night losing 6-3 to the Bruins. This update's brought to you by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Saturday, February 7th, it's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship at Xfinity Mobile Arena with Knuckle Mania 6, featuring a heavyweight title fight, plus Conor McGregor and many more. Tickets at bkfc.com. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the Sixers Flyers Best Birds Talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
But they had that one double album that came out in like 2000. I think it was the Hey Ya.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible.
It had some bangers on it.
Yeah, they had some pop hits on it.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had a whole different Outcast flavor.
Yes. Yeah. So fresh and so clean.
Andre 3000 still walking around Center City with a flute. It's unbelievable. Yeah. People would go see, Andre 3000's, and the next thing you would go see him, and he would be playing the flute, literally playing the flute, not rapping, not doing anything.
Talented dude.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah. All right, couple things here quickly. Ray, I just want to get this on people's radars. This is for the big game next Sunday.
For the big game next Sunday.
You and Connor. So if people are like, what are we going to do for the game? Head down Atlantic City and hang out with Ray and Connor.
Yeah.
Caesars.
So it's like a big spread and everything else.
We're doing a actual pregame show for it for 3 hours leading up to it. Then we're doing a watch party. We're giving away stuff down there. So it should be a great time.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
So if people are headed down AC for the big game, go check out Ray and Connor.
I'll tell you what, the folks over at Caesars do it right. I actually did see a promotion. There's a lot going on at Caesars for the Super Bowl. Now, I apologize, Ray. I'm going to start building up this game. This game's incredible. You got to go check out the pregame show.
When we were doing that conversation earlier, I was like, it's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, Ray, this game sucks. No one's going to come see you.
The Vikings general manager got fired because he gave up on Sam Darnold,
Oh, yeah. It's true.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe he'll be available to come down to Caesars. We get his explanation from that side.
Dial him up.
There you go. See if you can get him on there. All right, so check that out with Ray. Also, I guess they're and Dylan was telling us this earlier. When they hired, I guess Kellen Moore, they didn't have a press conference with him. I guess the first time they spoke was maybe at mini camp or something like that. But they didn't make the hire. They didn't have a press conference. And I guess they're not having a press conference here either because they put out a statement. Like they're hiring, and in the statement, Nick Sirianni, it's like, here's Nick Sirianni on the hiring or whatever. And I looked at it right away, and I'm like, Nick Sirianni didn't say any of this or write any of this. So because we don't have Nick Sirianni talking about it, we only have the statement, his quotes, we decided to match that with an AI voice. So here's the AI voice speaking as Nick Sirianni on the hire of Sean Mannion.
It was quickly apparent in meeting with Sean that he is a bright young coach with a tremendous future ahead of him in this league. I was impressed by his systematic views on offensive football and his strategic approach.
There you go. It's part one. So far, so good?
Yeah, Nick didn't write that.
No, you don't think that's corporate?
Yeah, it's some PR stuff there.
Here's some more
values.
There you go.
Here's more from Nick.
Sean's 11 years in the NFL have provided him a great opportunity to learn from and grow alongside some of the best coaches in the game. As a result, he has a wealth of knowledge and experience that will be invaluable to our team moving forward.
Yep.
We all fertilize.
I'm sure Nick was on the Wikipedia. He's like, hang on a second. He's like, hang on a second. Hey, Patullo, hang on. Stop talking. Let me go to it. How many years was he in the let me see. 1, 2, 7. Yeah.
ChatGPT, can you write me a statement from Nick Sirianni about the hiring of a new offensive coordinator?
So he played. Okay, yeah. I was trying to.
And I'm not trying to rip Nick.
No,
I read it. I'm just like, all right. So
he's got better things to do.
Yeah, as would I too.
What else are we getting to get to 11? Never ask a question you don't know the answer to. But I'm trying to do the math here. He played in the NFL for 9 years, from 2015
to 23.
Carry the one.
Yeah. All right, never mind. Yeah, it's adding up.
And
Sorry.
2 years as a coach.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's mentioning how many years. Is that really something Nick's doing, going in and checking the years?
Hey, he's done a lot for just being 33.
Younger than Lane.
Wow. Yeah, but you know what? Look across the – how old's Liam Cohen?
Oh, yeah, no, it's not uncommon.
It's the wave of the NFL right now.
It's getting younger and younger.
You get these young guys. It was the same thing happened after Bill Walsh. You got the younger coaches coming off the Bill Walsh tree. And then the Holmgren tree. And all those guys, Gruden, Mariucci, Andy Reid, all those guys became the best coaches in the league for a while.
No, well, Liam Cohen is 40. This OC who had an interview with Cleveland, Grant Udinsky,
29.
30, from Doylestown.
The 29-year-old was the Chicago kid.
Yeah, Declan Doyle. Yeah. I'm running out of time to become an offensive coordinator.
You're getting too old, right?
I'm getting too old.
Now is the time to be an OC because these things are popping up every single year.
Right. There was what, 18 openings?
I'd hire you, right?
You still got time.
It's once you get off your parents' insurance, that's when
you need to get the OC job. Correct. That's a good point. So ESPN.com had ranked the top coaching hires in the last 5 years. 37 head coaching hires over the last 5 years. Where did Nick Sirianni rank on the list? Sean Brace. I know the answer, and I don't even have it in front of me.
Top NFL coaches hired in the last 5 years.
They ranked the 37 head coaching hires. Where was Nick Sirianni on that list? Number one being the best hire.
He can't be that, right? I would say he's top 10. Give me that. Give me a ballpark. I'll go
Agreed.
with seven.
Correct.
7.
Higher.
3.
Higher.
He's 1.
Dan Campbell's number 1, but Nick Sirianni number 2 on that list.
Wow. I don't know how you could put Dan
I'm the smartest coach in the world.
I don't think you could put Dan Campbell in front of him. Just saying.
Here's why. The Lions organization was a toilet, and the Eagles are established as being a great organization. Dan Campbell went up there and changed the culture.
Bit kneecaps, baby.
But to your point,
I'm a Dan Campbell guy. You know that.
I bet you're a Dan Campbell guy. You could have played for Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell speaks my language.
We were actually playing. We were talking about this last night at the basketball game. How old school coaches you feared.
Oh yeah.
It's not like today, but like I remember my middle school. I played middle school basketball for a year, and he was a football coach, but he was a middle school basketball coach. To say I was intimidated by him would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He was intense. A lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. It's not the same with youth sports. It's not the same today. However, I also respected him because there was a certain standard that I knew that I had. I wasn't fooling around in practice. I wasn't doing anything like that. He probably could have been maybe not as hard on people, but still, it's like there's a certain way, and I miss that. I do miss that.
Oh yeah, you get that discipline, a little high intensity. But now the issue is you get the parents that match that, so you can't have that. So now you need a coach that's calm, that can deal with all of the noise.
Right. But you got to evolve,
I'm the smartest coach in the world.
So Dan Campbell is the old school that also has evolved into the modern player.
I like Dan Campbell. I know it's kind of having fun with it, but
Ray does too.
Yeah, I'm a Dan Campbell guy.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd rank him over Sirianni, but
yeah, I'm with you there. I'd have Sirianni in front.
It's tough. I mean, this is going through this list. I understand why someone would have Sirianni lower because it's like,
it's the Eagles.
Yeah. He walked into a situation where he's got Howie.
Number 3, Mike McDonald.
Thank you. I was going to say 3, 4, 5. Could you give me 3, 4, 5?
Vrabel 4.
Those are great coaches.
D'Amico Ryans 5.
Wow, great coach.
Sean Payton 6. That's underrated, man.
Yeah. Look, think about from the Denver Broncos perspective, their number 1 player as far as contract is concerned is Russell Wilson, right? So he took on that gig
and then tossed them.
Had the success with Bo Nix.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Kevin O'Connell 7, Ben Johnson 8. This is a good list.
I'll tell you what.
We go to the bottom for a second?
Yeah.
Sirianni needs to put this on his
Jim
LinkedIn
Harbaugh
page.
9, Dan Quinn 10. The worst hire on this list, Sean Brace, is
Canales.
So he
made the playoffs.
He remained, instead of going with the team, he stayed behind, and he might have been looking at some behinds. Urban Meyer.
Oh,
Frank Reich, 36.
He had that co-ed sitting on his kneecap in the middle of a bar. What was he thinking?
Not Frank Reich. You're still talking about
Urban. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Frank's a good guy. Frank don't operate like that. Come on, Herb. Everybody's got a camera. What are you doing?
Damn it.
Tighten it up. His face was painted on the back of the wall in the mural.
Yeah, everybody's always had a camera, but no one's put it out there before. You think that was his first rodeo there, Sean?
That's true.
Coming up next, YouTube chat recap. We got Ish. We'll finish up on the phones as well. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Hello.
That's how I say it, right? Colarulo? Because if I say it like it's spelled, it's incorrect, and people tell me I'm wrong.
Call on me. Call Colarulo. That's how I reference in my head.
Can we do
the wheels of motion?
Parody song?
Call on me.
With Colarulo?
Colarulo. Call on me. You like that?
Love it.
There you go.
Love it.
Well, that's one thing that I'm saying to the people you got all these people going back and forth on every video that we do, John. I'm like, wait a minute. Enough of the debate on the timeline. Call in. Like, there are a lot of great points being made, whether it's the Giannis discussion, whether it's, of course, the hiring of a guy that has zero offensive play calling experience. Great debates on the timeline. Call in.
Yep.
Bring it.
Bring it. Love it. 1 o'clock hour brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restorations. Great team, stick together. So does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration Championship results. Visit morgensternhair.com or call them. 610-831-HAIR. 3 locations, Bala Kinwood, Wayne, Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. There you go. Sean?
Yeah.
You have a busy weekend coming up. What do you got going on?
Sean's going out. Tomorrow I'm going to the Poconos. It's going to be a little cold.
Is this with the family or with a bunch of...
Going with the family, rolling up with my buddy Colin and his family, and we're going to be doing it right. Hopefully tubing, but it's a little chilly. That's Saturday and Sunday. John, tonight, though, your boy is DJing. And for the first time ever, I got a phone call. Hey, Sean, do you have any interest to DJ my friend's party? This girl called me, a mutual friend. I said, sure. So finally get in touch. I said, what's the theme? Is it a birthday? Graduation? No, it's a divorce party.
Divorce party?
Yeah, divorce party. So tonight, I am DJing a divorce party for a divorcee. Dare I say? A divorcee. Yeah, look, she's throwing down. She's getting the girls together. I think there's a couple dudes rolling in from the gym that she goes to. It's going to be a great time. Yeah.
Awesome. A divorce party, Ray?
Open invite?
Yeah,
Ray?
Look at Ray smiling.
Yeah, I'll pick you up.
I got a flight at 10:30 tonight. Think I can get there before?
I'm booked from 7 to 11.
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
If and I'm very happily married and I'm not getting divorced, but if my ex-wife was having a divorce party, I would say, there you go.
Yeah.
That's why I'm getting divorced.
Well,
because she's having a divorce party. Do I need to say anything else?
Probably not.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Well, you know what? You got to say, she booked a great DJ.
So, and seriously, if you're Sweet 16s and things like that,
Yes.
Sean Brace is a professional DJ.
Do it all. Hit me up, please. Just no weddings or bar mitzvahs because I'm a solo man.
You don't do weddings?
No, I don't. Because there's too much that goes into that. I can't do it.
a lot.
I would
You would
never,
need an MC to
I would never be
with?
comfortable doing it by myself.
Because if you screw that up, you screw up their wedding.
But my friends over at Gypsy Wisdom, we've been having some conversation that I might help them out from hopefully moving.
So my buddy Justin from Hawaii, and he hits you up. He messages you, and he hits up your clips. Justin Lopez. He is a professional MC in Hawaii.
That's great.
So that's what he does. He's a former radio guy that still does some radio stuff, but we know that doesn't necessarily pay the bills all the time.
I love it, man. You hit up during holidays, business parties, all that. I'll do anything, right? You want me to play your kid's birthday party and play nothing but Taylor Swift? Hit me up.
Do you make animal balloons?
Balloons. Make me a bicycle clown. Yeah, I could do it all.
Whatever.
That's why I told my wife, I said, I'll dance tonight for a little extra.
You would, too. What does your wife think about you DJing a divorce party?
She knows I ain't going anywhere.
I know,
look
but
at me.
you don't. There's no fight because of that. Or,
not at all. No. No, if I'm out till 2:30, there might be a little bit of an issue. But
You're booked till 11.
Yeah, I'm booked till 11. We're getting up early to go to the Poconos.
Okay, so you're coming right home afterwards?
I didn't say that.
So
Maybe.
Party over at 11:30. It takes you till midnight to pack up. You just can't leave without saying.
Yeah, I got the juices going. I might need to go swing by a local establishment.
Oh, so you would leave and then go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got some boys that are going to be out in the town. It's Friday night. Ow!
Okay. All right. There he is. Man, about used to be Mr. Worldwide. You're not Mr. Worldwide anymore.
Mr. Conshohocken.
Yeah, you sure are. All right, Ish, we'll finish with you after the YouTube chat recap. What do we got?
It's time for the YouTube chat recap.
How about filling us in? Let me tell you something else, man.
Watch us live on YouTube every single weekday.
I can't lie. Let me tell you something.
It's the Middays with Marks YouTube chat recap.
It, man. I'm listed at 5'10".
John saw a guy who is 7 feet tall and automatically assumed that he is 5'10" himself. Do your feet even touch the ground in that chair, John? Dutch from the YouTube desk.
Wow.
I don't. It doesn't touch the ground. But I didn't even put the picture out.
He's a big dude.
There's a picture I took at training camp with Fletcher Cox and Ike. And I'm in between them, and people were saying like, "Oh, look, it's Jerry's kid right there." Or like, what auction did somebody win for you? What charity auction got you a picture with those two? And it was so I had such low confidence when I took the picture because I knew what it was going to look like. Yeah,
Todd McCullough is huge, man.
He's not just tall; he's huge.
He is a big dude.
He's a big dude. Flying, I'm sure, is not the most pleasant experience.
Man,
That big.
Better be first class.
You got to be first class. Yeah.
I heard him coming around the corner when I was walking through the hallway after we were done because I went and got coffee, and I immediately stopped. Like, if I take a charge from that guy, it's over for me. The day is done. Someone else has to produce the rest of the show.
Yep.
It's great.
And he's talking about Shaq would toss him around like a rag doll. Imagine how big Shaq is. Holy crap. All right, what's next?
I'm not sure if that's Sean Brace in the studio or a real-life grown-up Cabbage Patch Kid. Nate from the AP desk.
Uh-oh, what did I do?
He looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid?
What Nate's saying, you look like a Cabbage Patch Kid. A grown-up. A grown-up Cabbage Patch Kid.
Does everybody else see that?
I don't know. Well, No, I'm thinking of Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah, I was thinking, what is a Cabbage Patch Kid? I don't know. What is it?
It's probably the pie face.
Oh, yeah. I know. All bald guys look alike.
It's actually a compliment.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because of the round face.
Brian Dable, Bill Barnwell, me, we all look the same.
Not Bill Barnwell.
I don't know what Cabbage Patch Kid is.
Look it up.
I know Garbage Pail.
No, a Cabbage Patch Kid, it's not a, I would have never thought that.
Also, the two of them sitting back there just tossing shots in here. We haven't even gotten to a real YouTube chat comment yet. It's just the two of them making fun of the two of you.
Good. All right, what's next?
Ray could have been as tall as Todd McCulloch, but all those cigarettes stunted his growth. Dylan McKinnon.
Yep.
Don't smoke, kids.
That's why. No, he couldn't have been 7 feet tall.
No.
Ray's tall enough.
Yeah.
Ray, what's your listed height? 5'11"?
I'm listed at 6 foot.
Listed at 6 foot. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
So you're a little bit taller than
my
me.
license says 6'2". I'm not 6 foot.
Yeah.
I'm 5'11".
That's your listed height.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my license, I think, is my listed height, too. We're 5'9" at least.
Yeah.
I might have shrunk a little bit. All right, what's next?
Hey, Uncle Jamie, I just have one thing to mention before you asset Ray's car. Please don't be too harsh on the kid when you see the back seat. It's used worse than the Miracle Whip in John's fridge. Spriggs from the YouTube chat.
Yeah? You ever go down that road, Ray?
We got to get to Ish before we
When
get
the
out of here.
Avalon is a rockin', don't come a knocking.
Yeah. All right, any more?
One more.
The whole Giannis thing feels just like Harden years ago. Obviously, it's two different players, but do you remember how thin and bad the team was when they traded multiple pieces for Harden? Same thing would happen, but you'd be trading more to not win a championship. Dutch from the YouTube desk.
Listen, it's a good comment, Dutsy, but I think we forget, and I didn't like Harden at all. I think we forget the team was leading the Celtics in that series.
The following season.
Yep.
The following season.
Second season with Harden.
With Harden. Yeah. I mean, like, that team wasn't a disaster. Harden was a lot better than I even want to give him credit for.
Oh, yeah. And, oh, by the way, he is still dominating. 25 points per game out there with the Clippers. I think they've been on a little bit of a tear as well.
They started off really bad, and they've been on a run.
Giannis ain't James Harden still, though. Like, that's the point. Like, Giannis is incredible. Could be potentially the player of the decade if it wasn't for the Joker.
Ish in Levittown. Thanks for holding, Ish. What's up, buddy?
Hey, quickly. Sean, I thought you were on the radio this Saturday. I was going to listen.
Preempted, man. I'm preempted. What do we got? Sixers tomorrow, right?
Flyers in the afternoon.
Flyers in the afternoon. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm preempted.
Okay. Well, I'll look out for you next time.
Thank you, man.
Johnny, I actually agree with you on this whole offensive coordinator, but I think it puts Jalen under spotlight and Nick under a spotlight. I think like if the new offensive coordinator actually does good, like within 2 years and like this year and the following year, I think Nick can actually be out of a job in my opinion. And I just feel like they'll actually want to move him up instead of losing him. What do you think about that? And Ray, I heard you going to Little Caesars. Is that the pizza shop this year? So you can go better on the little witty bitty games, Raymond. Who let the dogs out, Raymond? Woof woof. Oh,
it's a casino.
I'm a man.
You're not going to the Little Caesars to get pizza?
No. I mean, if they want to pay me to go there, too, I'm more than happy to go to Little Caesars. I'll just be all over the place.
In 1996, the Eagles made the playoffs. John Gruden was the offensive coordinator, and he left to become the Raiders head coach. And I'm sure Jeffrey Lurie looked at it and said, I can't fire Ray Rhodes because he's done a good job, but I'm also allowing a young coach that is going to be a star leave. And it may be a similar situation here. Nick Sirianni's won a Super Bowl. What would have to happen for them? Mannion comes in and he looks like a wizard, and the Eagles lose in the first round of the playoffs. Could they move on from Nick Sirianni? Of course they could.
Sure.
Yeah, this hire could end up costing Nick Sirianni the job. They make a Super Bowl. They get to an NFC Championship game. Would they allow this young offensive coordinator to leave without? I don't know. It's a really interesting question.
I don't think he's. Well, you never know how thirsty those teams are out there, but it would be surprising to see Mannion get another gig after one stint as an OC.
What, a head coaching job? He could be a head coach after 1 year. For sure.
Wow.
For sure.
It would be a great problem to have, Johnny.
Guys are coming up next. We'll talk to you on Monday. See you.